Right, all right. We are live on YouTube now. Excellent. Let's see who we got. So we got Dean from Maine. Welcome, Dean. Stephen from Florida. Mary from West Virginia. Dragon Healer from Bolton, Canada. Marika from the Netherlands. Wyatt. Eliza from Rhode Island. Lotus from Berlin, like myself. Berlina from California. Marie Christian from Germany, welcome, welcome. Jay from London, Michelle from Oregon, Olympus from Texas, Lauren from South Carolina. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Just take a moment to get settled in. Let us know where you're tuning in from if you haven't yet. And for those of you who have, what is your intention for the Quantum Abundance Accelerator? Whether it's changed over the course of the past few days of attending, or whether you had some breakthrough, some revelation for your journey with us. We got Ian from Ontario, Canada. Welcome, welcome. And I am curious, is anyone new today? Or do we have returning people? Mary Green's asking, are there replays of previous days? Yes, yes, there are. So if you're new, I would recommend that you sign up for the Quantum Abundance Accelerator officially, and then you'll be on the mailing list and you will be able to access all of the replays. Basically, you can only see day one public. That's public on my YouTube, but the rest of the days, they're kind of hidden unless you're on the Quantum Abundance Accelerator mailing list. So you'll want to make sure you sign up for that. In fact, let me get some linkage here for those of you that might be new. Yeah, Marie is asking this. Boom, there. You can sign up right there. So I believe when you sign up at this phase, like you will get the replays like immediately in your welcome email. But if not, know that the replays go out after every live session. So after tonight's live session, there will be another replay going out. And then in that email, you can also access all the previous replays. And we just keep building and building and building. And so Quantum Abundance Accelerator has 8 live sessions. And last week we did the first 4, focusing on the 4 realms. So physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual realms. This week, super exciting stuff, we're going to apply what we learned about the 4 realms to specific areas of life. So today is manifesting money, because who doesn't want to do that, right? And we're also going to talk about health. We're going to talk about your sacred work. We're going to talk about relationships. So lots of juicy stuff this week. And no, yeah, Marie Christian's asking, is it better to stay or watch the last sessions? You don't have to watch the previous sessions before. So anyone that's new, you can just show up and enjoy and vibe, go to whatever sessions you feel called. And that's totally cool. And welcome, a big welcome to the new people. Michelle says lots of breakthroughs. Mark says stepping into abundance, owning my power. Excellent, excellent. What else do we got here? Jay says your intention is to increase my abundance in all areas of life. Well, you're in the right place for that, Jay. Perfect. Felina says to live my life to the fullest and help lift others into their fullest lives. Snaps for that. That's a powerful one. Very expansive. Dean says stepping into my abundance by overcoming my own fears and self-doubt. Sizzle. Love it. Lotus says to de-stress by myself and receive the abundance. Amen. Yes. And I think that's a good point too, that it's like, yes, we have practical teachings and exercises that we do together in these workshops. But honestly, I think the most important thing about these workshops is like the energy we create together that creates this very high vibrational space where you can kind of escape the dramas of real life. You can lift your frequency and then you open yourself to receiving lots and lots of abundance. And we have like lots of cool manifestations from people. Someone emailed me and said that they randomly received an inheritance like after the first day of Quantum Abundance Accelerator. So it's absolutely crazy what you can manifest just by being in this space, in this energy. Manuel says, higher frequency since Saturday, super new moon. Beautiful, love that. Mark has to leave early at 8 p.m. tonight. That's okay, Mark. You can watch the rest in the replay as usual. Ian says, feeling huge shifts since I started this. Snaps for that, I love it. Olympus says, change the way I view money and accept abundance into my life. Sizzle, love it. So that said, any revelations that you've had thus far that you feel called to share with the class for our collective integration? And for those of you who are new, you might not have any revelations yet, but I would love to hear your intention for joining this workshop. Marika says, my intention is to find balance in all facets of my life, to be ready for the abundance of my twin flame reunion. My eye-opener is that last week's exercises are working and getting patience with myself. My case manager noticed it today. Amazing, Marika. I feel the shift in my heart space. That's so powerful. Cool. So Upton says, your breakthrough, your revelation is me. Very powerful. Eliza says, to better understand how my unique brain works, so it will be a better magnet for abundance. That's wonderful. Lauren says, a lot of revelations during the weekend, especially when I was watching The Matrix while on a small dose of shrooms. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sounds really, really trippy, really intense, especially under the energies of the moon that we just had. Beautiful. Okay, Mary says, change my paradigm, create abundance and eventually generational wealth for my children. Snaps to that. I feel the power of that. Yes, be a magnet for abundance. Exactly. Because that's what it's all about, guys. And we'll be talking about that today and really working and going into our shadows with that today with manifesting money it's like abundance is all around us. Like it's always all around us. We just have to open ourselves to receiving it. The problem is we're so brainwashed by the matrix. We're so brainwashed to believe that we're not worthy, that we have to prove our worth, that we have to struggle, we have to suffer, we have to sacrifice, that we block our channel to receiving abundance. We block our own abundance, but it's always right there. It's always right there. You just got to reach out and take it. Okay, Pat says, what do all the 111s mean? See the number 11 quite frequently in everyday life. I don't know if you're asking about the workshop here. So that's a good time to say the parameters. So for those of you who are new, our shorthand for these workshops is we type 1 in the chat for yes or affirmation. So you guys can try that right now. And you see number 11 quite frequently everyday life. This is a spiritual awakening number and frequency. So usually when people start seeing number sequences, 1111 is like what they first start seeing. 1111, it's gateways. It's like a portal. One is also, it's like the first number, right? So it's about starting something new, starting a new chapter, opening yourself to something. And so then you would think that 2 would be no, but not here. Not here, my friends. 2 here is sending love. So if someone has a vulnerable share or something, you're just really feeling the love, the expansion, you can send love by typing some 2s in the chat. We can try that now. And then if your answer is no, like I said, we don't like to be negative Nellies, but sometimes your authentic truth is no. If it's no, what do you type? 3. 3, 3, 3. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So basically how we go, I guess, going into the parameters then for how these workshops work for anyone that might be new, and even for you guys that are vets at this point, because it's slightly different this week. So basically, every day in these workshops this week, I get raw and real with y'all with what I'm liking to call alchemy stories now. So basically, I'm going to share very vulnerably stories from my life every single day this week where I was at rock fucking bottom in whatever area that we're talking about that day, and how I alchemized that and got to a place of alignment and abundance. And basically, I like to share these to show that I'm not just like talking up here at you guys, like I'm not on a cliff, like looking down, talking at you guys. I understand. I understand on a deep, deep level what it's like to be in the trenches. It's like I still understand that at times. And I just want to convey that in these stories and also give you like a clear blueprint through these stories of how I was able to pull myself out of these situations. Okay, so I want you guys to have your notebooks, to be ready to take notes, and I will use myself as the ultimate guinea pig to show you how to pull yourself out of any dark situation you can conjure up for yourself. And from there, we will go into our teaching. So today's teaching is 5 steps to increase your earnings instantly, aka how to manifest money. We're also going to be talking about Dragon Wealth, which is the sequel to and sponsor of these free workshops. And we will have, I think every day except one this week, someone coming on from the Dragon Wealth program to share their alchemy stories. And today we will have the lovely Michelle on, who is a Dragon Wealth OG, and she has a fucking epic story. I think today is the perfect day for her to come on because when she joined Dragon Wealth, she was on like disability. She's been, if I recall correctly, like homeless before. Like she's been in the fucking trenches money wise, but she's always able to pull herself out. And so she's going to come on and talk about that. And then at the end of every session, we have Q&A time, open Q&A time, and potentially live coaching, depending on the energy, how everyone's doing energetic wise. So if you want right now, you can go down to more at the bottom of the screen, and you can find Q&A. It's a little box that comes up when you click on it. And you can drop questions in this Q&A box. And then when we get to the end of the session, I will answer all of your questions that are in that box. And this is the best place to put your questions if you definitely want them answered. I can't guarantee that I'll answer them if they're in the chat. I might not see them, or I might like be on a tangent and I don't want to distract myself. So if you want your questions answered, put them in that Q&A box. I will answer them at the end of the session. And possibly if you're someone that's really struggling, you want some one-to-one support, you need some coaching, I might bring you on live. So you might want to start thinking about if that's something you would be open to. So generally that is the format. And some days this week, we're going to do meditations. So today, normally we don't do a meditation on this day in the past when I've hosted QAA, but today, I know this is such a big pain point for people right now. Like money is such a big pain point for people right now that I was guided to host a meditation on this. Basically, a financial flow meditation is what they're telling me. I don't know what that's going to look like because I haven't done it before. It's going to be very spontaneous on how that looks, but we're going to hold that one like right at the very end of the session to just like wrap it with a little bow. So if you're able to stay till the very end and like receive that, awesome. If not, I trust you'll be there in the replay. So we got a lot on the agenda, if you couldn't tell. We got a lot on the agenda. I also have some announcements to make, so there's that too. But first, while I like center myself, I'm curious, for those of you who are returning from last week, were you able to do the homework this weekend? And if so, in like a sentence or two, what is your takeaway from the homework that you did? So first off, were you able to do it? Give me a 1 if yes, 3 if no. All righty. Lauren had to leave early last time. Oh, last time was fire, Lauren. I highly recommend you watch the replay. Whew, it was really great. But the homework, I believe, was to do your daily action. So this is really where you get results. This is the game changer. If you take like one thing away from QAA, it's like the Friday workshop. That's where it really all comes together. But the homework was, I believe, to pick like a daily inspired action and then to do it every day this weekend. And for those of you that weren't able to do the homework, that's totally cool. You've got plenty of time to integrate this. I would recommend doing all the homework at some point. You can check in with your own heart space to take that inspired action and to do it in a time that feels aligned for you. And Lauren says, oh, nice. I think I did it by accident, huh? That's great. See, there you go. Again, telepathy. We're all connected. Even if you're not on the live, you're getting the memo. I love it. Okay, so Felina says 1 and 3. Monday was a lazy day for me. That's okay. I feel you on that. And on that note, like, I don't know if anyone else is feeling this, but like that Taurus new moon that we just had, like, ooh, that was intense. Did anyone else feel that? I also like just kind of had to take a lazy day yesterday because, ooh, that was really intense. Like the day of the new moon itself was okay, but then the day after, it's like, ooh, like massive kickback. Olympus says, mine is that I rise with the sun and I've been waking up full of energy. Sizzle. That sounds great. I feel the energy on that. Nicholas says, I slept almost 17 hours yesterday. Damn, that's powerful though. We kind of need that right now. We kind of need it. Oh yeah, Lotus says it was a conjunct my Chiron, which is the planet of pain. Basically, it's the wounded healer planet in the 10th house. Yikes. Ian says old triggers trying to get the upper hand since yesterday. Yes, exactly. But are we gonna let them win? Are we gonna let them win? Or are we gonna say what I like to say, not today, Matrix, not today. I want you guys, if you're struggling right now, if you're struggling with these old triggers and these intrusive thoughts and stuff, I want you to type it in the chat. Not today, Matrix. Not today. We're gonna band together. We're gonna take back our power, and we're not gonna let the Matrix have its way with us anymore. We're gonna create the realities of our choosing. And Lauren, I very much appreciate you for picking up my Game of Thrones reference, because it is totally a Game of Thrones reference. Yes, not today, Matrix. Hell no. Today, we create our realities, not the Matrix. Not our politics, not our families, not our triggers. We do, from a soul-centered place. Cool. Eliza says, I kept getting Aries energy in online tarot readings when it should be Taurus for the new moon. I am a Leo, not an Aries. New beginnings for me, I guess. Totally. Yeah, Aries energy is really strong right now. Ian's like, take a walk off a short plank, Matrix. Amen to that. Yeah, we don't need you anymore. We don't want any. We don't want any. All right. So, serious question. Serious question. Who's ready to talk about money today? Yay or nay? Or a little bit of both? Who's ready to talk about money? As I'm like saying it, who's even like feeling a little contracted? Like who's like feeling like because I can say it like for me it's yay and nay. It's definitely like fuck yeah, this is like where we really make big change. This is where we really alchemize, but also at the same time, it's scary and there's so many limiting beliefs. And on that note, I will say like this day, day 5 of QAA, manifesting money, this is the most shadow worky of like all the days of QAA, because as you might discover throughout this session, I really want you to be attuned to your bodies today, really sit with it. You might discover this is where like light workers such as yourselves, conscious people, have like the biggest shadows more often than not. Like the nastiest, most deeply ingrained subconscious shadows. Most light workers I know do have a kind of a tenuous relationship with money, a little rocky relationship with money, and that's okay. Cool. But yeah, Lauren's like, money equals anxiety for me. All right, mine was like, let's talk about cash, baby. All right, so on that note, who's ready to make some money? Who's ready to make some money? Like, all the ones, please. All the ones. And then I have another question for you along the same vein, but I want you to sit with this for a second. Really sit with it. Sit with your body. Who's ready to receive money? Genuinely. Who's ready to receive? Sit with your body. Are you ready to receive money? To the conscious mind, it sounds nice, but are you really ready to receive? All right. All right. That's what I like to see. Everyone's ready. Hell yeah. Let's get to it in that energy. But first, but wait, there's more. So, there is a little contest that we're going to have this week. So, this is the week that I host the QAA testimonials giveaway contest. So, basically, this is where you get to write about your experience with QAA up until now. You just share about your experience, what you've experienced, what you liked about it, what you think could use improving, any revelations you had. And then by filling out this form, you're entered into a giveaway. And I will announce the winners on our final day of QAA on Friday. And basically, one winner will get a one-to-one session with me for free. And one winner will get 1 month of the House of the Spirit Dragon, which is my private community and mystery school, also for free. So if you want to win one of those gifts, I'm going to put in the chat now the linkage for that. So I will send that out via the replay email as well, just for your reference. But for those attending live, it should be in the chat on Zoom now. And then for those watching the replay, I'll also include a link in the description for you. Olympus says my third eye is tingling. Excellent. Felina says feeling like Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob. Money, money, money. I love it. I love it. That's the day today. That's the day. This is our money day. So on that note, today, or not today, this week is our final week to enroll in Dragon Wealth, which is both the sponsor of and sequel to QAA. So as I always say, hosting a free 8-day-long workshop series like this, it is very time, money, and energy intensive. And basically, when you kind of join us in Dragon Wealth, you're supporting this work and you're helping me to be able to host this for people in the future. So if you are a giving person, this is your chance to give, not only to others, but to yourself. And in addition, it allows those of you who are feeling called to continue this journey, who you want to keep this hype train rolling, as I like to say, with this QAA energy, to continue this journey with us. Because QAA is ending this Friday, and then Dragon Wealth will begin next Tuesday. 1 week from today, we will be beginning with Dragon Wealth. So if you are loving the vibes, you're having all the breakthroughs, and this really feels in alignment for you, this is your chance. So I just want you guys to seriously consider it this week and really sit with it and feel into if Dragon Wealth feels right for you. So what is Dragon Wealth? It is a 6-month intensive experience designed to help you break free from poverty consciousness, discover your latent gifts and talents, and generate wealth doing what you love for a living. This is for you if you're feeling stuck, lost, overwhelmed, and especially alone on the spiritual awakening journey. If you've tried all the things and nothing seems to stick, if you've always felt that you had a mission and so much to give to the world, but you just have no idea how to actually make it happen. You're just like, oh, I have a mission, but I have no idea how. And I'm going to throw that out to you guys. We're going to talk about this more on day 3, but I'm going to throw that out to you guys. Who out there has felt like you have a mission? Like maybe you don't even know what it is. You just feel like you have a mission. You have something to do. You have something to give to the world, something to share with the world. But you're just like feeling blocked. So it's like you're in like a maze. You're in like a labyrinth, but all the walls are like invisible and you just keep going one way and you're just like, oh, nope, not that way. Oh, no, not that way either. Yeah, Ian says, I've struggled with overcoming trauma, spending my whole life. Yeah. I feel the pain in my heart reading that, Ian. Sending you love. Yeah, Marika says, my soul mission is rebirthing the new world. Learn that the last Dragon Ball. Thank you for sharing that, Marika. Yeah, Marika is in Dragon Ball. And sometimes I think Marika is a good example of like, you don't necessarily have to like go out and do something to like live your purpose. You get to be your purpose. You become your purpose. And just your energy and how you're showing up in your day-to-day life, that can become your purpose. So Dragon Wealth is for these people. Dragon Wealth is for you. If you're just absolutely sick of hitting blockages, of hitting walls. And this is especially for spiritually awakened individuals who are hoping to go full time doing what they love for a living. If you want to just exist and get paid for it, this is for you. If you want to enjoy what you're doing, if you want to do something that genuinely helps others and genuinely benefits the collective rather than something that just like takes, this is for you. And I just also want to be clear, this is not for people who are going to be stuck in victim mentality and who are going to cling to their comfort zones. Because as we talked about last week on day 4, everything you've ever wanted lies on the other end of your comfort zone. And I can tell you from personal experience, unless you're willing to get out of your comfort zone, get a little tense, a little clenched, feel a little awkward, you're not going to grow. Things aren't going to change. You're going to stay in that loop. Everything you've ever wanted lies on the other end of your comfort zone. So if you are ready to leave your comfort zone in a very big way and to be caught by the universe, caught by a loving community, held and supported on your journey back to yourself, then I want you in Dragon Balls. And let me put that linkage for you in the chat to check out. And I will say, so today's bonus, there's always a bonus every live session. So today I have a very big bonus. The first person that signs up, I am going to give them TikTok for Business absolutely for free. So this is my course on basically using social media for business, and specifically using social media as like a soul-centered, conscious light worker of a person. And normally this costs like over $1,000 for this program. You will get it for free if you're the first person to sign up for Dragon Wealth today. So what do you actually get in Dragon Wealth? You get weekly live coaching sessions for 4 months where you get direct access to me and to the community. You get step-by-step curriculum designed to heal you on a quantum level, open you to wealth and abundance, and guide you in starting to generate money doing what you love. And basically, for those of you that have been coming to QAA, it's like QAA on steroids. It's like all the stuff we've been doing in QAA, that's what we're doing in Dragon Wealth, just over a longer period of time. So you can imagine the shifts that happen when you're doing this over an extended period of time rather than just 2 weeks. So we do practical exercises, we do teaching, we do quantum healing meditations, we support each other. So you have a private community off of social media where you can mastermind with fellow light bringers and connect with, this is important, accountability buddies. That's always been a game changer for me. You can meet people who are committed to themselves and to their journey and to the collective, just like you. And you guys can show up for each other and keep each other accountable. And a lot of times we have people in the Dragon Wealth community, like following each other's social media channels, for example, exchanging services with each other, stuff like that. You will also get lifetime access to the Quantum Abundance Accelerator, which I will say access is going away next week when the doors open to Dragon Wealth. They're closing to QAA. So if you want lifetime access to QAA, you also get that. And then you also have our meditation repository of basically every meditation we've ever done in Dragon Wealth. And you guys only need to attend like one of these sessions to know how powerful those meditations are. And then all participants in Dragon Wealth this round will get 1 year of access to all future coaching sessions. So the next time that I'm going to host Dragon Wealth, or in our integration sessions we do sometimes where we just like shoot the shit and we talk about like what's stressing us out, the current energies and stuff, what's still holding us back, you will have access to that for a year. And so the pricing is $1,997 USD or $297 a month for 7 months. And then also this time I'm offering the Dragon Wealth business tier, which this is for people who are like super serious, super committed, ready to take action, ready to commit to themselves into the collective in a big way. This is Dragon Wealth business. So basically you get everything from Dragon Wealth tier, but then also you're going to get TikTok for business in that community, social media for healers, and then 8 one-to-one sessions with me. So your entire Dragon Wealth experience with the community, you'll also be getting sessions with me twice a month where we can just laser focus on you and your specific goals and your specific blockages. And this is super powerful. And by the way, I don't offer like one-to-one mentorship anymore. Maybe I will in the future. I'm feeling inspired to, but right now, this is the only way if you want to work with me in a one-to-one mentorship container. And the price of that is $4,997 USD, which I realize is a big investment. So if you are genuinely feeling called to that one, I want you to just reach out to me at support@ownyourpowers.com and let me know that you're interested. And then I'm happy to make space for you in my schedule this week, and we can have a one-to-one call and we can kind of just like talk through any concerns that you have, talk through your goals, and just really make sure that it's for you before you like take that leap and make that investment in yourself. So again, anyone that's feeling called, I'm going to drop the links right there. So that's Dragon Wealth, my friends. I'll be getting to 5 steps to increasing your earnings instantly in a second. But first, raw and real truths time. I'm curious. Who contracted the moment that I pitched Dragon Wealth? Or the moment I started talking about money? Anyone contract? Anyone feel a little like resistance? Yeah, Leo says yeah. Steven says yeah. Felina says a little bit. LOL. Dean, Dragon Healer. Totally. This is totally a safe space. Raw and real truths. And who immediately checked out because they were telling themselves, I can't afford it. This is important. Who immediately checked out because they said, I can't afford it. Yeah. Amen to that. So I just want you to place your hands on your heart for a second and just breathe into your heart space. And allow yourself to just breathe into the trust, into the love, into the abundance that literally exists inside of you, that you can generate anytime. It is always ready for you to access it, as long as you can remain open to it. And as you've got your focus on your heart, I want you to ask yourself a question. What if I could afford it? What if I could afford it? And I want you to notice what happens in your body and in your heart when you say that to your heart. And I want you to let me know in the chat. Yes, juicy, juicy, Chris. Chris says, I realized just how much tension I'm holding when it began to release. Exactly. Yes. Nicholas says, everything spun around and opened up. Lauren says, I keep getting blocked because if I could afford it means I could also afford to pay my college loan payments, which right now is my biggest financial block since they are now being stricter with the payments. Isn't that interesting? That's what's holding you back, Lauren. That's like a massive shadow. That's a huge revelation. And also I feel you. My heart goes out to you because I also have student loans that I've been avoiding paying recently. Ian says, I'm feeling I can afford it and already doing that. Sizzle. Jay says, I immediately relaxed. Leo says, I'm still scared it won't work on me and will be wasted on me. Unworthiness in the heart space. Yeah. Money is so intimately connected to our worthiness. Yeah. Felina says, I felt a release of tension as well. Dragon Healer also feels the same way as Leo. Awesome. That's okay. So noticing, like I said, did I not say that this was going to be a very shadow worky day? And the blessing, I guess, of this experience is we have Dragon Wealth like live, this experience live to trigger these money shadows like very directly on this call. So I just want you guys to notice those shadows. If you have shadows coming up, whether it's loan payments, whether it's a feeling of unworthiness, I want you to notice those shadows and just send them love. Like literally keep your hands on your heart and just send them love. And see what happens. Notice what happens. Dean says those fears are still lurking. Yes. And when you take the moment to sit with your heart, to listen to your heart instead of your head, your body shows you that, doesn't it? So Manuel says, I feel Dragon Wealth is not for me at the moment. That's totally okay. Like I said, I don't want people in the program if they're not genuinely feeling called to it. I do want people in the program if they are feeling genuinely called to it. And I want you to know, again, as I keep saying in these workshops, if you feel genuinely called to it, you can and you will be in the program. And it's that simple because you are the creator of your own reality. And so now I'm going to go into the teaching for today. And basically, again, I'm the guinea pig here. I'm going to share my story with you guys of where I was in like a very broke situation and how I alchemized that. So Lauren says, I send love to my college loans since they represent the gift I received of college education and experience and some of the best friends in life, which I met during that journey. Divine timing is huge. Snaps for that. Yeah, ooh, Dragon Healer, that's juicy. Dragon Healer says, I was told it is the beginning to the end if I do it. Interesting. Yeah, like let's follow that. Let's follow that, Dragon Healer. What, the beginning to the end of what? Dragon Healer says, I have no idea. What if it was the beginning to the end of the suffering? What if it was the beginning to the end of the poverty mindset? It could be, yes, exactly. This is how you create your own reality. You notice the thoughts, you notice the limiting beliefs, and you just poke them a little bit and you're just like, what if? What if I could afford it? What if this is the beginning? What if this is the end of my life of struggle and poverty and the beginning of me living my dream life, of having everything I've ever wanted, of really being in my power and creating the reality of my choosing? Ooh, Dragon Healer got chills. Ooh, sizzle. Yeah, I just want you guys to sit with that for a second. Just sit with that. This is today's teaching. It is all about opening doors to possibilities, guys, instead of blocking yourself. Because when you say, I can't afford it, what you're doing is you're creating your reality. You're blocking yourself from abundance. You are putting a period like, I am limited. I am in this box. This is whatever my current income is, even if it's zero, this is all that I can afford. This is all that I can have. You're not allowing yourself room to expand. And know that simply just by asking questions, you can start to open that door little by little. You can creak it open. Dragon Healer says I was drawn to get another dragon tattoo once I started this group. Excellent. Ian says I can't come from a place of lack. Exactly. Yeah, I can't comes from a place of lack. Totally. Totally. It's very much in worthiness as well, right? It's like, oh, I can't do that. And it's like, it's chronic PTSD, basically. It's chronic trauma that just convinces us, I can't do this. I'm limited. I can't. But I want you guys to know you are so much more powerful than you give yourselves credit for. And you can do whatever you want to do if you truly, truly want it. Leo says, I feel like I can only expect money to support me once I'm in my purpose, not while I'm seeking it. What if, Leo? Here, we're going to ask another question. Super shadow worky. This is super spontaneous shadow work. What if you're already living your purpose? What if you're already living your purpose? Sit with that. Olympus says, oh, I feel that right now. Because I can tell you guys, like, this was a game changer for me. I was living my purpose when I was in like a 9 to 5 job. Like when I was like working as a cashier at Target, I was living my fucking purpose. Like I would show up and I would just give lights. I would be that light. Even when I was unemployed, I was living my purpose. I wasn't giving anything to the world. I was just sitting with myself, healing my shadows. I was living my purpose. Your purpose, this is for day 3 this week, but we'll go deeper into it there. But know that your purpose isn't outside of you. It is you. It literally is you. So Leo says, then why don't I feel purposeful? Probably because of your matrix programming. It says that you have to be doing X, Y, Z. It's always this programming is like, you're never enough. It's never enough. Whatever you do, it's never enough. What if you were enough? What if everything that you're doing or not doing is perfectly enough? So let's just sit with that. And I want everyone to sit with that. What if you're enough? What if it's all enough? Sizzle lotus. Be it before you see it. Yes. Yes. Totally. I can feel that. So I can tell you, friends, I have been there. I have been in the energy of I can't afford it so many times, like more times than I can count. And from personal experience, I can tell you that I can't afford it is nothing more than a big, fat, limiting belief with a capital BS. But if you don't believe me, allow me to tell you a tale from my own life. One of my biggest 0 to hero moments, if you will, from broken to free and fulfilled. So basically, to paint a little picture for y'all, I was living in Australia at this time. And actually, at this time, I had already gone full-time working for myself. So that was cool. But I was lucky to make like 2,000 USD a month. And my income at the time was tied to the virality of my TikTok videos, which was a very stressful thing in and of itself, to never know if a video was going to go viral. If it did, yay, it's like playing the lottery. It's like, okay, yay, if the video is viral, yay, I get to eat that week. If it doesn't go viral, oh well, too bad. You can't pay your rent. Also, I was living with Jason from Friday the 13th. So I'm going to refer to this guy as Jason from now on. That wasn't actually his name, but that's kind of the energy that this guy reminds me of. But you know what, friends? I was in my comfort zone. I was in my comfort zone. You know, having these viral videos or not viral videos, living in this constant period of stress and unknown, like, can I eat this week? Can I pay my bills this week? What's Jason gonna do next? I was in my comfort zone. I was comfortable making peanuts because, hey, at least I was doing what I loved now. That was great. I was comfortable living in a perpetual state of fight or flight, feast or famine, because that's all I had known growing up. I was even comfortable having Jason as a roomie, as long as he completely ignored my existence and left me the fuck alone, which he usually did. So you know what the universe did, friends? Conked me over the head with the cosmic fucking bowling ball of enlightenment, as I like to call it. It was like, comfort zone, Hannah, that's your stagnant zone, and you, friend, are going to stagnate yourself to death. So we're going to switch things up for you. Enter Jason threatening my life with a knife. I called the police. The police were not helpful. And I ended up homeless on the spot. I lost my home that night. No warning, just gone. No support, gone. And literally, I was like on the way to the local park to sleep there for the night. And I tried calling like one of my friends there, and it was like late. So I didn't even know if she was going to answer. Luckily, my friend finally called me back. Was like, oh my God, girl, I'm so sorry. That's so intense. You can totally come stay here. like at the place that I'm at, there's like a trailer in the backyard. And like, I think the landlord will let you like stay there if you want. So basically, long story short, I ended up living in a trailer in my friend's backyard in the middle of the ghettoest part of Sydney. And you can even look this up. Like, I actually did a couple of TikTok videos from this trailer, like talking about the experience when this happened. It was like 3 years ago now. And meanwhile, like all of my stuff, all of my belongings were at another friend's place. And on top of all this, if this wasn't awful enough, and like I felt like my whole world was like caving in on me, my visa for Australia was expiring and I had no money to pay for it. And I also had no money to fly back home to mommy's either. So I ended up figuring this shit out literally with only 1 hour to spare. And I remember like the guy from the visa department like calling me and be like, Hannah, your visa's gonna run out in 1 hour. Like, we need you to send the money right now. And I did it. I somehow did it. I manifested it. And I'll tell you how in a second I was able to manifest this money. But after I figured that shit out, I remember laying down in that cramped, musty, cockroach and spider-ridden trailer and thinking, universe, seriously? Like, is this seriously my life? Like, what you doing to me, universe? Because I thought I followed the inspired actions up until now. Like, I really thought I got the memo and I was doing the right thing. What's this all about? Enter lesson number one. Lesson number one, and the lesson the universe wanted me to finally learn at this point, was ask for help. Okay. So I already I had to ask the one friend for help moving my stuff to her place, the other friend for help to like live in the trailer at her place. And then to help with my money situation, I had to do something that I felt so shameful and so contracted, so resistant to. I asked my audience for help. And I got raw and real. I remember sitting in that trailer and writing the email to my audience being like, hey guys, I know I seem like I'm this like cool influencer chick that's got all of her shit together, but actually I'm living in a trailer right now. My situation's really bad. Any help y'all can give me would be super appreciated. And long story short there, I was able to receive help at this point. I received just the perfect amount of money to move into a place of my own, a new place. And that was amazing. And to this day, I'm so insanely grateful just thinking back to that. Just, you never really know how supportive the universe is, how supportive maybe people around you are until you ask, until you put yourself out there vulnerably. So that's lesson number one. Sometimes you just got to ask. Sometimes you just got to ask. Like, maybe if there's something you really want to pay for, you need to pay for, and you're like, I can't afford it. I can't afford it. Like, what if someone was like more than happy to help you with that? Like, maybe there's someone out there that wants to help you with that, but you're not letting them because you're just like, no, I must struggle. I must figure it out on my own. I have to do this on my own. That was my energy. I felt like a failure in that moment that I had to ask for help, but I did it anyways. And then the universe showed up for me, and it can show up for you too. And Felina's like, oh my God, I literally have tears in my eyes. Sending you love, Felina. Yes, like it's vulnerable. It feels like being broken open, right? So enter from this point. This was complete rock bottom, friends. This was complete fucking rock bottom for me. I spent all the money that I got from the universe, from these like donations from people, to just move into a place of my own so I could get out of this trailer in the ghetto. And at this point, I was so burnt out. I was so traumatized. I had PTSD up the wazoo. I didn't have any ability to work. And I couldn't even get on assistance because, again, I was like a stranger in a strange land. I was a foreigner in this country. There was no assistance available to me, which meant no income, zero income. And I had recluse syndrome. I didn't want to interact with people. Like I said, PTSD like a bitch. I was feeling abandoned by my twin flame at the time. Like that's a whole nother story, which I'll talk about on Friday. and basically everyone, and basically the universe itself. And I was a complete vegetable. And I just kind of, oh, I remember. Can you feel the release? Like, oh my God, bringing myself back to this moment. I was like, oh my God, the tension, the pressure, the stress. I was a complete vegetable. I remember just like laying on the bed at the new place and just like stretching out, sprawling out, and letting out that breath and be like, oh my God, I survived. But what's next? What's next? Oh my God, I don't want to know. This is like a horror movie. So at that point, synchronistically, by the way, a free workshop series was brought to my attention. Not unlike the one I'm hosting now, mind you, wink, wink, breaking the fourth wall, wink, wink. And in this free workshop series, it was for psychics and light workers such as myself looking to make a stable income from their work. And I attended knowing full well that it was a funnel where they were going to want me to pay into some program, and having zero intention of buying into whatever they were funneling into, because I'm like, I am like the last person that's going to be able to pay for your program, people. I'm really, really in a bad situation right now. So I attended these workshops knowing that, expecting that, and just being like, I can't afford it, period, right? But then something happened, friends. I attended the workshops and I was inspired. And I was inspired. And maybe you feel it attending QAA, but I could feel in my heart space. I could feel that heart that had been kind of just broken open by these experiences and this trauma that had been shut off again, like Fort Knox. Feel it opening. And I felt the inspiration. I felt the hope, the possibility, the expansion. And I honestly could feel, being an empath, I could feel the hosts were genuine and they weren't out to get my money. They really cared about what they were doing, and they really cared about helping people and inspiring people to be the best versions of themselves. And that in turn, it inspired me. And so I felt called to join. I just felt that call in my heart space. Like, damn it, universe. Damn it, universe. This is for me. Why are you doing this to me? Like, why? There was just this deep knowing, right? That's knowing that this really would change my life and my business. This would change my life and my business. But the program costs $2,000 or 6 monthly installments of $397, which is basically the same price as what I'm charging for Dragonwell. And not only did I have no money in my bank account, I had negative money thanks to COVID, because this was coming off of COVID times, mind you, financial abuse from my mother, American student loans, as we were talking about earlier. I was in hella debt. It was like the worst possible financial situation you could possibly conceive of for yourself. And because I like to play this video game of life on like extra super nightmare mode, I concocted this terrible situation for myself to prove, friends, that I could overcome it, that I can overcome any fucking obstacle. So I just couldn't shake this knowing in my heart that said I had to join, even though it was the most financially stupid thing I could have ever done. Just from a pure logic standpoint, it was so financially stupid. If I had told like any of my friends or family at that time what I was doing, they're like, no, like, don't do this. What are you doing, Hannah? You're crazy. I know that. I knew that. It was financially stupid, and I had zero proof that any of it would even pay off in the end. But I just knew, friends, I knew that it was for me. So enter lesson 2, which we already kind of went into, but I want to show you in this story. Lesson 2, allow I can't afford it, period, to be a question rather than a period that blocks any and all possibility for anything else. So at that time, I hope I've conveyed that I had every reason to say in that moment, I can't afford it. And certainly my brain kept hammering away with such, even months after, when I was still having to pay for that payment plan every single month. But instead, in that moment, I opened a door to possibility. I asked myself, what if I could afford it? And just as I walked you guys through earlier with the heart, I asked myself, I put my hands on my heart and I asked myself, what if I could afford it? Yeah. And that felt like it was opening a door. So I took it to the next step. And then from a place of inspired action, I said, how might I afford it? How might I afford it? For me, then, in that situation, I actually realized, despite how dark the situation was, how hopeless it was, I realized I actually had a lot of systems in place to be able to afford it. I just had to take action. And in my trauma, which many of us, if you're used to dealing with trauma, if you got like CPSD, for example, like you're used to just like keeping yourself in victim mode with these thoughts. I can't do this. I'm too tired, blah, 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 blah. That keeps you in this loop of perpetual victimhood. But if instead you can be like, how might I step into a new way of being? How might I step into abundance here? How might I afford this? You start slowly, maybe slowly, but surely you start to become that. You start to become the person that can afford it. That is this new powerful sovereign creator being. So what I did, friends, and I want you to make note of this. This is important. So there's 3 steps that I took after this point. When I was in rock bottom, I had the calling in my heart. And then I asked myself, how might I afford this? So I invoked the spiritual realm, as we do. We talked about that day 3 last week, spiritual realm. I set the intention with my spirit guides and my higher self to manifest the money for the first installment by the time doors closed. And I broke it down, right? Because I was like, hey, if I think about paying for the whole program, that's too overwhelming. Let's just say, what if I could just afford this first month? And then it's okay if I can't keep up with it. What if I just afford the first month? I see how it goes. And we'll start with that. So I was like, guides and higher self, I would really like to be a part of this program. I feel like it could be life-changing. I'm feeling drawn to it, but I don't know how I'm going to make it work. I don't have the answer to that question. How might I afford it? So can you throw me a bone here? Can you help me out? And I set very clear standards. I was like, if I make enough money for that first installment, by the time the doors close to the program, I will take the leap. I will invest that money in the program. Even though, again, like maybe there's other things I could spend it on. There's a million other things I could have spent that money on. I was like, I will know if I generate the money for the program by the time the doors close in a few days, it's meant for the program. And it's meant for me to invest in myself in this specific journey. So I set that intention, step number 1. Then, as we talked about last week on day 4, physical realm, step number 2, I took action. And my action, friends, wasn't even like anything like huge. My action at that time was just, I felt inspired to post a TikTok video. I don't even remember what I posted about, but I felt inspired to post a TikTok video from the heart. So I posted a TikTok video, and that was my action that I took. And I showed the universe, okay, there's my inspired action. I took it. That's what I felt called to do. It's done. It's in your hands now. That brings us to step number 3. I let go of attachment to outcome. So, which granted was very easy for me to do in that situation, because what did I even have to lose at that moment? I didn't really have anything to lose at that moment and everything to gain. So I let go of attachment to outcome. And I was like, I knew deep within, I was like, if this program is meant for me, the money's going to show up by the time the doors close. And if it's not, then it's not going to show up and I will figure something else out. Cool. That's fine. I surrender to that. And friends, let me tell you, within just 12 hours of releasing that, I generated $444, enough to cover the first payment with interest and also an angel number, right? Then my guides are like, just in case you weren't sure that this was for the program, let's make it an angel number. Let's spice it up. Let's put a little dressing on it. So yeah, I generated it, and immediately, even then, I was like, there was a part of me that's like, oh man, I should pay this bill. I should buy this food, blah, blah, blah. I should do this thing, all these things I should do. But then I was like, dude, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I was like, it's for the program. I was like, they answered me. Who am I to not like respond accordingly? So I invested in the program, and I haven't looked back. And in just 3 weeks, because I had such a fire under my ass, I had the stable income I was hoping for in just 3 weeks. And investing in that program has led to an abundance of other opportunities for me. And I made so many like connections. I had accountability buddies, exchanging services, receiving healings. Beautiful, beautiful experience that I wouldn't trade for the world. So for me, that program was my call to adventure from the universe. The universe is like, hey, you tired of ending up in this rock bottom over and over again? You want that stable income? Throw down. Here's your call to adventure. And so I'm going to leave that link again in the chat if you feel that Dragon Wealth could be yours. And I will say, the reason I created Dragon Wealth is exactly this. It is exactly this. I created Dragon Wealth with the intention to help other people break free from the matrix, because I'm so well versed in it. I was so used to it, being in these rock bottom moments, really terrible, really dramatic moments, and fucking sick of it. And having pulled myself out of that time and time again, I realized like I didn't want to just live my own life outside of the matrix. I want to help other people do the same. Like, it is so fucking fun. It is so fucking exciting getting to make my own schedule, friends, and getting to create a schedule that has plenty of time for self-care and reflection and integration, to do what I genuinely enjoy and that I know genuinely helps others, and then has a massive ripple effect on the collective. I wouldn't trade that for the world. I am so grateful each and every day that I get to do this. And I want you to have that opportunity as well. And that is exactly the knowledge, the activations, the healing that I bring to you in the Dragon Wealth program. And this is exactly also why it costs what it costs, because I know without that fire under your ass, you're not going to get the results. Like, we need that fire sometimes. We need that pressure. And for me, in the past, with this program that I was talking about today, with other programs I've joined in the past, I guarantee this shit works. This shit really works. If you have the fire under your ass, you will start to ask the questions, how might I afford this? And the universe will answer, because it's a law. It's fucking physics. It's law of attraction. You ask that question and you put your money, quite literally, your money where your mouth is, the universe will respond. And you will discover that you are so much more powerful and expansive and unlimited than you ever gave yourself credit for. You will learn that you can pull yourself out of any situation, no matter how hopeless, no matter how dark. You have the power when you really, really want something. And maybe Dragon Wealth isn't calling to you, and that's totally cool. But for those, again, that are feeling called to it, I just want you to know you can do, you get to have this. You get to have this. You are worthy. You are worthy. You get to be free from the matrix. You get to do what you love for a living, and you get to be paid. You get to exist, and you get to be paid for existing. Really, really. And so I just want you to just, take a deep breath with me and type in the chat to wire this in, to wire this whole story. This wasn't just a story, friends. This was an activation. I hope you guys can feel it, but this was an activation. I want you to type in, I exist and the universe provides. I exist and the universe provides. And I want you to say that out loud. And we're all just going to say it right now. We're going to charge this field and we're going to bust through those money blocks together. I exist and the universe provides. Simple. Chills, chills. I can feel the energy, guys. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Woohoo! And we got Pat in Dragon Wealth. Pat Flynn. Congratulations, Pat. Congratulations on taking the leap. I'm super excited for you. I know it's scary, but I'm confident in you and your ability to manifest from this energy of taking that leap of faith. And I'm going to throw it out to you, Pat. What is your intention for Dragon Wealth so that we can all hold that for you? What is your intention in taking that leap of faith? What is it that you wish to experience for yourself? What do you want to receive? And what do you want to give to the world? So Leo's saying, how can Dragon Wealth help me if I don't know what it is? What is doing what I love yet? Should I join later? So on that note, Leo, I will say, to be completely honest with y'all, I don't know if I'm gonna host Dragon Wealth again. I don't know, because I'm in a very deep period of transformation in my personal life and in my business right now. I cannot guarantee that I'm gonna offer it, or if I do offer it, like when I'm gonna offer it again. So I would say if you're feeling the call, join now. And I can tell you that even if you don't know what you love doing for a living, Dragon Wealth can help you with exactly that. It can help you get clear on it. And we'll have like Michelle on later, who's gone through multiple rounds of QAA and Dragon Wealth. And I can tell you, I've seen for the people that are OGs that have gone through multiple like phases of this journey, you can go through it multiple times. And like each time you peel back a layer and you uncover something else, something new. So maybe the first time that you do Dragon Wealth, you have no idea what you want to do for a living. And that first round helps you discover that. And then the next round that you do it, then you're ready to like take action, manifest, ground it, bring it in. And I can say, like, if I don't know if you saw Tom's share last week, Tom, he was like, he didn't know what he was going to do at first. And he was selling crystals like the first round of Dragon Wealth. And then he completely scrapped that. And now he really feels aligned as an Akashic Records reader and channeler. And that feels in alignment. And that's what he's doing. So it can change, it can fluctuate. And as you go through the different rounds of Dragon Wealth, you will discover that. You will uncover that. And that community, even if I don't host like another Dragon Wealth or QAA again, that community will always be there for you if you're joining Dragon Wealth right now. You will always have that community, that safe space. So I hope that answers your question. Marika said, yeah, Marika, I thought of you for his question too. Marika says, I learned my purpose in the last Dragon Wealth. Totally. So it can certainly help you with that. Wow, Dragon Healer. Woo, snaps for that. Dragon Healer says, I can feel other people's pain in my body, and then you can remove it. That's sick. That's so powerful. My best friend actually has this ability as well that she recently like awoke to. Such a powerful ability, such a gift. Beautiful. All right, so one final time, guys, I want you to just, hands on your heart, say to yourself, I exist and the universe survives. And Ian, I'm just noticing Ian's comment. Ian says, I'm thriving because the universe provides. Amen to that. Sending love to that. Okay. Victor, welcome, welcome. Perfect timing. We are manifesting money today, my friend. It's all in divine timing. All right. Wow. Whew. I am like physically hot. Last time I told you guys, right, that I get physically hot in these things as if I'm like running a marathon. I can feel the alchemy in my body. I can feel the dragon's fire right now. Can you guys feel it? I'm like drenched right now. I'm so hot. Like, what a marathon it's been. And we're only just getting started. We're only just getting started. This party is just getting started. I'm super excited. I feel super expansive. Let's go. Whew. So now I'm gonna take a drink. I should take a drink. All right, sending love to you, Dragon Healer. Going back to work, but you'll be listening. That's okay if you can't interact. Again, just bathe in the frequency. Bathe in the frequency. All right. So now that we've gotten that alchemy out of the way, what is money really? What is money really? How would you define money? I'm really curious to hear your answers to this one. How would you define money, friends? What is money? And Lauren shares, not related to the question, it seems, but just received an inspiration of working with nursing home and elderly centers along with children and the young. Snaps for that, Lauren. That's amazing. I can feel the expansion there. Can you feel the expansion? Can you feel like the abundance that comes with that calling? Damn. So as for what is money, Marika says exchange of energy. Yeah, Marie says energy. Nicholas says energy. Philip, you're set to host and panelists. Make sure you set it to everyone so we can all interact with you. But Philip says security, power, and energy. Ooh, sizzle. Eliza says money is energy, and so is time. Yeah, Ian says energy exchange. Victor says a frequency to get what you want and you need. Lauren says, yeah, energy. Yeah, that seems to be a common answer, energy. Energy is the key, says Dean. Energy. Value given, says Stephen. Very interesting take there. Yeah, good energy, says Marie. Energy flow. Form of, Leo, form of personal power, sizzle. Manuel says money is power for me. Money is energy. Money can be freedom, right? Yeah, money can be power. It can be freedom. Basically, it can be whatever you want. Money can be whatever you want. Whatever you're attaching to money, it will become that for you. It is a conduit. Money is an energy, as you guys have intuited, and it is a currency. It is a currency. That's why we call it currency, money currency, like the river, which is why, by the way, I have this river imagery in the background. Money is like a current. It wants to flow. And it is a currency that allows us to experience clear, tangible energy exchange. Clear, tangible energy exchange. That's what money is. And it can be power, and it can be freedom, and it can also be anxiety, and it can also be corruption. It is whatever you charge it with. Whatever you decide money is, it will become that. But at the end of the day, it's a frequency, it's a currency waiting for you to tap into it, to align with its flow, to receive its blessings. Back in the day, they used to simply exchange services and goods. There was no money, right? People just did things for each other, and this was the energy exchange. But now, in the modern times, we have this monetary system. And that's also, I will say, this is deep dive on this, right? This is also something that I see being on its way out, like our money system, our monetary system as is. I see it on its way out, and I feel there will be higher frequency, shall we say, replacements. They're already kind of coming in. And this is, as we move into the new earth frequencies, this is going to become more and more commonplace. But know that as we move into that, as we're going through a transition right now, we still need to respect, shall we say, the system that is currently there. If we completely disregard the system, then we end up homeless on the streets. But if you're acknowledging, yeah, like, okay, money's still there, I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna imbue it with these energies of, let's say, freedom for the time being, but there's no attachment there. I know I'm open to it being replaced with something else. I'm open to bartering. Yeah, Ian says bartering is returning. Totally. So it's like we can seamlessly move through this transition from the old system into the new. But it all comes down to here, right? We talked about on day one. And also, shout out to day one for those of you that are new or that may have missed day one. If this workshop today is resonating with you, definitely check out day one, because day one, where we focus on the mental realm, we also went into like common money blockages and limiting beliefs around money. So if you want to lay the beat down to those, you want to love and integrate those, that's a great day. So that can be like an extension of today. And even if you were there, you might want to revisit it and sit with those and see if just throughout your experience, this container of QAA, if your ideas, your energy around money is shifting. So if you work with the dragons like I do, the dragons thoroughly believe that equivalent exchange is the foundation of everything. Dragons, so if you work with them, they believe in equivalent exchange. This is very important to them because equivalent exchange, it is harmony and it is balance. It is flow. Money can be an expression of that harmony and that balance if we allow it. If we allow it. And when we are harmonized and balanced in all four realms, the ones we talked about last week, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, money is a natural extension of that. If we are not manifesting adequate money in our lives, likely there is an imbalance somewhere. Or at least, as we talked about, this is why I referenced day one, or hella toxic beliefs around money. Thanks, Matrix. Thanks for the brainwashing, Matrix. But not today. Thanks, but not today. Manuel says, I feel like my limiting belief that money is something evil is releasing in this moment. Feels great. Sizzle. Yeah, like watch it burn in this dragon's fire, this alchemy, right? Like let it go. You guys can imagine right now, if any limiting beliefs around money, and especially the one that I noticed earlier when we were doing shadow work time, like that you don't feel worthy of XYZ. You don't feel worthy of money. I think that's what it boils down to for most of us. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel like we just get to receive it, that it gets to be that easy. Just offer that up right now. Imagining you're offering up to the flames of the dragons. They will burn that shit for you. They will transmute that. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Do you guys resonate? Cool. Excellent, excellent. That's what I like to see. We're on the same page. Lauren says feels good. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Sizzle. So on that note, I didn't even notice because I've just like took y'all to church about money. It's such an important topic, right? I get totally sucked down the rabbit hole with this one. I didn't realize we're already an hour and a half into the session. So we're going to take a transmutation break. And for those of you who are new, this is our cute name for pee break. This is where we go to the restroom because when you're taking a piss, you're transmuting energy. So yeah, liquid gold is Lauren's. I love that. I'm going to use that from now on, Lauren. Yeah, you're creating liquid gold. So we'll take a break for a few minutes. You can get a drink if you want. You can cool down if you're feeling this heat like me. Go to the restroom, whatever. We'll just come back in a few minutes, 3 minutes or so. And then we're going to go into 5 steps to increase your income. To increase your income instantly, which is also, I didn't mention this before, the teaching, these 5 steps each day is also going to be our homework. So really make sure you have your journals or you have something to write with and make note of this because this is also the homework. I'm also going to share 2 books with you that really helped me like break through my money beliefs and my mindset around money. We're going to have our Dragon Wealther Michelle come on and talk about how she's alchemized this stuff. And then, like I said, there's going to be a Q&A, and there's also going to be a meditation for financial flow and viewing financial flow in our life. So, whew, we still got a lot of juicy stuff in the books. I hope to see you guys there. I will be back in just a few minutes. Hey friends, I'm back. We'll slowly get settled back in, give you guys a moment to gather yourselves, gather your notebooks. And if you guys are ready to proceed, please let me know. Ready, you can type ready in the chat. And also, this is a good time to make sure that you're set to everyone rather than host and panelists for your chat settings. Make sure that those settings are set to everyone so we can all see each other and interact. Seems like a lot of y'all are ready. All right, so let's get into it. 5 steps to increasing your income instantly, which is also the homework. I want you guys increasing your incomes. So step number 1, which I would consider to be a mental realm step. And also I'll preface by saying that again, this is why QAA is structured the way it is. So the first week, it's like we focus on each of the realms, right? And then this week, we apply that to these areas of life. So we're applying the 4 realms to money. And so to just help you kind of see how this is working together, I'm going to kind of point out, oh, this is mental, this is emotional, blah, 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 this is physical, just so you can kind of get a better picture. So the first step, which I consider to be a mental realm kind of practice, is to look at your money. Look at your money. And I'm like smiling as I say this because I have to look at my budget actually. Like I have a budget that I look at every week and I haven't looked at it yet and I have to do that. And I'm going to do it after this. I'm going to do the homework with you guys. So look at your money. Marika says did that today. Sizzle. Like a good dragon welter. Like a good dragon welter, Marika. You got this. I love it. So I'm curious too, is it difficult to look at your money? When I say look at your money, does that bring up anxiety, like tension, fear for anyone? Yes or no? You can yes or no this. Lauren's like, I shut down. Marika says no. Good, good. Like a good dragon wealth. I like it. I'm glad you learned something, Marika. Pat says, yeah. It seems like most of you are like, oh, yeah. Chris is like, I groaned out loud, LO. Yeah. It's like physically painful. Notice if you groaned, Chris, that you're like releasing that tension by groaning. If you cry, you're releasing that. If you feel like stimming and you're moving, you're releasing that. Let yourself release it. Marie says, like at the moment in my pocket, no, more so like looking at your bank account, like the numbers in your bank account is what I mean here. Thanks for asking. That's a great question. I'm glad I could clarify. We got Liza yawned. Yeah, and I would say for me, I mean, depending on how my financial situation is, like sometimes I love looking at my money now, and I'm just like, yeah, show me the money, show me how expansive I am. Other times it's like, oh no, I can't. It's a train wreck. I don't want to look. No. But number one, this is so fucking foundational, is to look at your money and to do it regularly. So at this time, back when I was like at this financial fucking rock bottom years ago, that's when I started this practice that I have not stopped doing now every single week since then, which is to have a little date with my money where I look at it. And so every Monday, I look at my money, and literally because it helps me make it more real, because oftentimes if you're like a bit neurodivergent like I am, like it's hard to make these things tangible and we don't really like think about, and it doesn't sink in like the tangibility, right, of money or time or stuff like that. To make it real for me, I literally have, oh, I can even show you, it's right here. It's so cute. This is my budget notebook. I have a notebook. It's a cute little Grogu notebook that says work hard, nap harder. Ironically, imbuing some magic into my budget there. I have this notebook, and every week I write down all of my outgoing expenses. I handwrite it down. And then I also write down my incoming money and like how much money I have coming in. And then I total like, okay, how much money did I have going out this week? How much did I have coming in? And then I go even further and I'm like, okay, how much did I spend on groceries? How much did I spend on eating out? And it really just shows me, I'm like, okay, this is the reality of my money situation. Because I can tell you guys, it's like oftentimes when we're in the worst financial situations, that's when we are most avoidant of our money. But oftentimes, just like a monster in a horror movie, just like Jason from Friday the 13th, for example, like the monster is scariest when you can't see it. That's why if you've ever watched horror movies, if you know this, they wait until like the very end of the movie to reveal the monster, because once the monster's revealed, it's not as scary anymore. And you're just like, oh, that's the monster. Okay, we can deal with that. We can work with that. Same with your money situation. It's like just this looming monster that gets bigger and bigger when you're not looking at it. But if you're regularly like, I'm gonna look at my money, I'm gonna look at my money every week, you keep that baby in check. You keep that baby in check. And then this will help you kind of create a budget for yourself and get real with the universe of like, hey, like this is how much money I need, universe, and then putting it out there to the universe. As I can tell you, something I also did in the past is like, because I didn't feel I was worthy and because money was so hard, I would always convince myself that I needed less money than I actually needed. And so I would like ask the universe or whatever, tell myself like I need less money than I actually needed. So of course, I always ended up being in deficit. But things really started to shift for me when I started to get clear, like this is how much money I have outgoing every month. This is how much money I need, and being really firm in my boundary with myself and with the universe. This is how much I need. And having the courage to just hold that and to sit with that and be like, it's fucking scary. I don't know how I'm going to get this, but this is what I need. Laying it out there, seeing what happens. How could I afford it? How might I afford it? See what happens. Eliza says, yeah, like the monsters in Scooby-Doo. Totally. Ian says plastic tends to give a lot of people a false sense of financial security. Chris says, does that include debt? Kind of. So I would say also, as someone that has a lot of debts still, I still have a lot of debts, friends, and I include that in my budget. So I do look at my like bank account every week, and I look at like the credit card accounts. I don't look at the student loan accounts because it's just too overwhelming right now. But I will get to that eventually. But I look at my accounts and I'm just like, okay, this is how much money is owed. This is how much credit I'm racking up. So I would say, yeah, it's kind of the same thing. And then if you're someone that struggles with, let's say, credit card debt or whatever, that also helps you to realistically be like, hey, this is how much money is needed for the minimum payment, shall we say, like every month. And then what you do, little hack, is whatever the money, like the minimum payment is, auto schedule it for a little bit more than that, so that you start to take control, and it's not just, you're just not just scraping by and like becoming a victim to that interest. And again, having the courage with the universe of like, all right, this is how much, if your minimum payment is like $50, being like, all right, $70 is how much is going to be debited now from my account every month for the credit card debt. And then just putting that out to the universe and being like, all right, I'm always going to have $70 now to pay that credit card debt. So you just have to get clear on your boundaries with the universe of like how much money is needed, and really know that you're worthy. You're worthy of having those boundaries. Nicholas says, see, here we go, shadow work again. Did I not say this is going to be the most shadow worky day? I can feel it. I can feel it. Nicholas is like, why do I feel scared to ask for what I actually need? Oh, I feel that in my heart. Let's send some love to Nicholas and all of us that just felt that collectively too, because that lives within all of us, I feel. Is it because, Nicholas, I'll ask you, like, do you feel worthy to have what you actually need? I want you to sit with that, and I want everyone to sit with this too, because like I said, worthiness is so big when it comes to money. Do you feel worthy to actually have what you need? And then let us know in the chat what your response is. Do you truly feel worthy to have what you need? Or is there some part of you that's like, you can't have that? How selfish of you. Who do you think you're delusional? Do you have these nasty inner critics that come up being like, no, who do you think you are? Bingo. Oh, I feel it. Oh, I feel the revelation, Nicholas. Nicholas says, on the surface, I thought I did, but I'm realizing I don't feel worthy. Bingo, right? Same Z's. Like, no matter how many times I like iterate and I love that feeling of unworthiness, anytime I'm experiencing a trigger, especially around money and also especially around love, it always comes back to that worthiness block. And that is huge for the collective. I feel like we, again, thanks Matrix. thanks Matrix for the brainwashing. We really are brainwashed to believe that we're not worthy. And this is it can be quite the boss fight. It's quite a nasty boss fight for many of us to overcome. That's why know that you are worthy. And what I want you to work with, Nicholas, or anyone that's struggling with this, is just asking yourself now, when you notice the tension coming up, the feelings of unworthiness, ask yourself, open the door. What if I was worthy? What if I am worthy? What if I exist and life works out? What if I exist and all my needs are met in abundance? What if I exist and money ceases to be a challenge? What happens? And you don't have to know the answer right away, by the way. When you ask this, it's not like, oh, I need an instant answer. You're throwing it out to the universe. You're like, I don't know the answer, universe. That's why I'm asking you. And let the universe respond to you. Let the universe answer you. And it will start to show you. Manuel says, I feel like I deserve much more than I have. And that's great, Manuel. That means you're starting to like overcome that matrix programming. That's huge. And you're making waves. Lotus says, maybe because we get vulnerable by admitting what we want and we're afraid of hearing, no, you can't. Yes, Lotus, totally. And I can say, Lotus, I really noticed this in Germany. Like, this is very tangible in Germany compared to the other countries I've lived in, with this like judgy shutdown mentality of like, you put your vulnerable like needs out there, whatever, and that people being like, who are you? Like, no, you can't have that. What are you talking about? Like this shutdown mentality. That's what I've noticed. And I noticed myself since being here sometimes, like with people, there's certain people here that I'm just like, I can't be vulnerable with these people because I know they're going to try and shut me down the moment I am. And I just don't want to deal with that. I don't want to have to defend myself. Leo says, yeah, it's true. Germany is a lot. Shame everywhere. On that note, okay, this reminded me. I don't know if you saw this, Leo. I think you asked this question before. For anyone that is in Germany right now, anyone that's in Berlin especially, I have an in-person meetup group called Berlin Spirituality and Chill. And actually, that is going to be our after party for QAA. This Sunday, I'm hosting a meetup. It's totally free to attend. It's an in-person meetup, and we're just going to vibe, and we're going to talk about spiritual stuff. And it's just a nice place to chill and to meet people. And we can really, if anyone is attending these workshops and you go there, we can really like wire it in, really like integrate it. And I know me and Lotus will both be there. Anyone else that's around is welcome to join us. Marie says, unfortunately, I'm close to Munich. Bummer. That's okay, though. It's an ongoing meetup. So if you're around Berlin or you want to come to Berlin sometime within the next few months, the next year, there will be meetups. I basically host these ones like once a month or so, especially when the weather's nice. Ooh. Ian's got truth bombs from the shadow work here. So Ian says, and this is so true, when people say you can't, it's really meant for them to hear because they think they can't. Amen. Reality is a mirror, right? Reality is a mirror. Amen to that. Thanks for sharing that, Ian. And that is something to remember too. It's like when people shut you down, they're shutting themselves down. It's because they're used to shutting themselves down. And when you try to like expand and show them that they can't, that they don't have to live that way, they get threatened. You threaten their ego, you threaten their way of life, so they want to shut you down too. All right. Yeah, the programming runs deep. Amen. So that said, step number 2 for increasing your income. So step 1, mental realm, you look at your money. Step 2, emotional realm, journal out any feelings that arise. Okay? Journal out any feelings that arise. So you look at your money, let's say you look at your money and it's not good. It's not good. Maybe you're like, oh shit, I didn't know this, but on this trajectory, I'm not going to be able to eat next week. I'm not even going to be able to pay rent next week. Shit. Journal it out. And this is where we throw back to last week, day 1, energetic showering. So this is where you basically rant in your journal and you just journal about it and you let yourself be in your inner teenager energy where you're just whining about it and you let yourself be a victim. You let yourself whine about it. You let yourself be in that darkness for a little bit and you just go deep into it. And literally you're getting it out of your energy and you're getting it onto the page when you do this. And I can tell you why I recommend journaling. It's maybe not necessary for everyone at this phase. We're ascending fast, and maybe for you, you can just immediately feel the feelings and like sit with the feelings. Maybe you just start crying or you feel really anxious and you're able to lovingly sit with that. But basically this is feel the feelings. And I say journal out any feelings that arise because journaling is a good bridge to accessing your feelings. So when I struggled to access the emotional realm back in the day, journaling ended up being a nice bridge to start to learn how to do that. I noticed that the more I would like journal about these things, like I would start crying while I was journaling. I would start to want to scream. I'd feel really hot, right? I'd feel the anxiety like clawing at my chest while I was journaling. And it became kind of a bridge to feeling my feelings. So step 2 is you feel your feels. You feel your feels. So step number 3, and this is a spiritual realm practice. You connect with the personified frequency of money and forgive it. Ho'oponopono that shit. If you're not aware of that, check that out. It's like just a few words. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. You say this over and over. You forgive that shit. So literally imagine that money is a person. And this is also like when I was just doing like personal development and having my spiritual awakening, I discovered this across like many programs, like many teachers talking about this, where you like personify money, you think of it as a person and you write like a letter to it, let's say, like how you're sick of how it's treating you or whatever, or what you want your relationship to look like. But the important part here, spiritual, is to connect with that personified frequency of money and you forgive it and just make the choice. Even if you don't fully feel it, make the choice to just say, to choose, I forgive you, and do this regularly. Again, consistent action. See what happens. See how your money, your relationship with money changes. See money as your partner. And on that note too, again, there's such a relationship between money and love, which is why these are always like the 2 big pain points for people. They're connected at the root. What you're experiencing with money, you're probably also experiencing in love. So if you imagine that money is like a partner and you start to imagine that you have this ideal relationship with this partner that is money, you'll also start to heal your love life as well. And you'll start to experience that more there. So step number 4, after you've asked the question that we talked about, how might I afford it? Look for a way to generate more money and take action. So this is our physical realm practice. Like I said, day 4 of last week, the physical realm day, one of my favorite days of all of QAA because it's so powerful. Really recommend that you guys check it out if you haven't seen it. Basically, you take action and you take it consistently. So maybe you're like, I need to generate more money. Or let's not use need. It's a kind of a limiting word. Let's say I choose to generate more money even. How might I do that? Well, maybe you could look for a better job. Maybe you could look for a part-time job or a freelance job and then apply, and that's your action. Maybe you could post a TikTok video. Maybe you could ask someone that you know to support you. Ask for receiving, just or even not even asking, just being vulnerable with someone and being like, "Hey, I'm really struggling with money right now," and just being honest with them about your situation. You don't know what will happen until you take action. It gives the universe the opportunity to give you feedback. And then you can take that feedback and act accordingly and see what happens. And then finally, step number 5 here is to embrace the happy money, happy money energy, which this is a book, I believe, by Ken Honda. And this is one of the recommended resources for today, by the way. But basically, this is all about imbuing money. We talked about, right? Money is what you imbue it with. Imbue money with happiness, with joy, with gratitude. Have gratitude for what money you do have, even if it's a single cent. Like I remember from Tom, like sharing last week, he was talking about like how after he invested in Dragon Wealth, like he started to see like, 1 cent on the ground. And it's like, that's not a lot of money, but you can just see it as like, it's free money. This is amazing. As if it were like $10,000 like that you're finding on the ground. Imbue it with that gratitude and it expands. And invest your money with joy. So I know when I first became aware of this happy money concept, I noticed how, for example, immediately what's coming to my mind is like at the time I was writing a lot and I would go to Starbucks and I would like pay for my coffee at Starbucks. Every single time I would like tense up and I would be like, oh God, they're taking more money from me. Oh, and it would hurt. It would feel like someone was like physically hurting me. And when I discovered this happy money concept, I consciously chose to shift my perspective on that. Instead of seeing as, oh, they or the universe, someone's taking money, I'm losing money. I saw it as I'm investing my money with joy, with intention. Like I am, wow, universe, how awesome that I have this money to buy this coffee with. I'm so grateful. How awesome that I get to give a tip to this person that's working here and expand it. How amazing, because money wants to expand and it wants to flow. It doesn't want to be hoarded. It doesn't want you to hold it and be like, no, I don't want to let go. It wants to be given and shared freely. And when you're sharing it freely, you're investing it freely without that resistance, it comes back to you. It comes back to you freely as well. So just when you're looking at your money, taking it back to step 1, you can just have gratitude for all the money that's coming in, even if it's a very little amount on paper, just being like, thank you, universe. Damn, thank you. I am so grateful for this. And then when you're outputting money, regardless of what you're investing it in, be like, damn, like what I put out there, it comes back to me tenfold, and it will be so. Like you can decide that every time you put money out there, because it's so happy to expand and to be added to the currency and the flow, the river of money, that it comes back to you tenfold, and that can be your reality. Is this making sense? Does this resonate? Are you guys with me? You got all the steps. Manuel says, wow, that's great, Hannah. I have just to forgive the money with how it's treated me a long time ago, because since a couple of years, I don't really struggle with it, but we are still not friends. Yeah, so you're in like this tenuous relationship with money. You're like, okay, we're making it work, but it's not like the ideal relationship. I see. Yeah, so I think this could be groundbreaking for you, Manuel. Cool. So I'm gonna put these steps in the chat for you guys. Boom. Just give me a second to like, I gotta number them because they weren't numbered in my notes. And then maybe take a screenshot of these, make sure that you've written them down for your integration, for your memory. And this is the homework, like I said. I want you to do all of this and just see what happens. See what happens in the next 24 hours between this session and our next. It could be miraculous, really. You never know. What if you could afford it? What if you could afford it? So that goes on to say my recommended resources. This is maybe bonus homework. You can check out these two books, Happy Money and We Should All Be Millionaires. I think both of these changed my views on money. After I read We Should All Be Millionaires, which I've read a couple of times now, I feel like that book is like an activation. It like expands you into more money. After every time I read that book, I like increase my prices like happily, and it feels right. It doesn't feel like out of place. It feels good because that book really hypes you up and reminds you of like why we deserve to be millionaires. We deserve to be rich. We deserve to have our needs met in abundance. We deserve that. And that book will hype you up. Show. And Happy Money teaches you more about this concept of just like investing your money with joy, with this expansive energy so that it can expand accordingly. And on that note too, I will say another thing that I meant to discuss with Dragon Wealth that I'm going to note now. This is maybe like a bonus step. This is for the people that are like they're risk takers and they're feeling fiery and they really want to accept the call to adventure. Like bonus step for increasing your income is to invest in something that feels slightly uncomfortable, slightly out of your income capacity. And so again, this is why Dragon Wealth is priced the way it is. And I can tell you in the situation where I invested in a program, like that helped me. At first it was so scary, but it helped me because basically like you can visualize this, okay? It's like, imagine your income is like a coin purse, like a literal coin purse. Your income is a coin purse. And you're like, okay, this is how much I make. Let's say you make 2,000 a month as I was like back in the day. And it's like, this is your coin purse of 2,000 a month. And when you're only buying things that are comfortable for you and you're used to buying and you're just getting by the bare minimum, you're keeping your coin purse like that size and there's no space for more money to come in. So you're like, okay, my coin purse has size for $2,000 a month. You're not making space for more money to come in. You're not making space for the 5,000, the 10,000 a month to come in. There is no space. So when that money tries to come in, it doesn't have anywhere to go. It just overflows and you don't get to hold it. And this is why, for example, like lottery winners, it's like they win the lottery, they get all this external money, but it's gone like almost just as quickly, like very quickly they're like getting into debt because there's holes in their wallet. They weren't ready to receive that capacity. So a way you can like exercise this is you start to invest in things that are slightly financially uncomfortable for you. And you allow yourself to become the person that can afford that easily. And this works every time, friends. This is a special hack. I've never actually talked about this in QAA. This is a special hack. Like it works every fucking time. I've done this so many times. I just did this with the current flat that I'm in. It's super uncomfortable. Like the rent is super uncomfortable. It's like this luxury apartment. I've never had an apartment like this. And I know I'm going to be able to expand into this. And know that the transition, it can be uncomfortable when you're like making, let's say, the Dragon Wealth payments and it's like, oh, like I'm not used to paying that extra $300 a month or whatever. It's uncomfortable. But basically what it's doing is it's slowly expanding your wallet. And then before you know it, you're used to making that money and you're able to expand it even more. And this is also why like We Shall All Be Millionaires, every time I read that book, I increase like the price of my services and stuff because I'm like, all right, I'm ready for the next level. Let's like make the wallet a bit bigger, and you expand and you expand and you expand. Money wants to expand. It doesn't want to be like kept in this box. It wants to expand. So when you're willing to take those scary leaps, take those risks, it will expand and your identity will expand to meet it. So that said, I'm going to throw out to you guys again. There's the linkage for Dragon Wealth. If you're ready to expand in a comfortable but empowering way, would love to have you there. And you can join Tom and Eliza and Pat are our Dragon Wealthers from this round. And Marika and Chris and Michelle, I believe, are all on the call today. We have so many wonderful Dragon Wealthers that are going to be there to catch you when you take that leap and you expand into more abundance. All right, so I'm going to read what y'all are saying in the chat now, and then we're going to have Michelle on. So Michelle, here's your warning. You can like raise your virtual hand. I'll bring you on in a second. And I am so excited, guys, to have Michelle on. Like I said, she's a Dragon Wealth OG, and she has had an epic story of transformation. All right, so Lotus says, on that note, an Airbnb host told me when I handed her the 90 euros for the room that I should always hand them out with the bridge on Euro notes facing the sky. Interesting. I didn't think much of it. 3 weeks later, I found 90 euros on the street. No joke. Ooh, chills, Lotus. That is so crazy. What? This is exactly what we're talking about, though. Happy money. If you just like really, when you align with this frequency of a true abundance and wealth, you know, whatever you put out there, it's going to come back to you. And if you let it, it'll come back to you even more. Like it'll come back to you tenfold. So it's like in my case with like the program, it's like it costs like $397 for that first payment. And the universe gave me 444. It was like, here's a little bit of interest for you as well. So when you take that risk, like it will come back to you if you let it, if you allow it, if you remain open. And I love that like tip of like holding, yeah, open, like literally keeping it open to heaven. Yeah, Leo's like on that note, LOL wordplay. Oh, snaps, I love it. Wasn't even intended, said Lotus. So needless to say, you always hand over notes that way. Now that's amazing. I will consider that too. That sounds fun. And Lauren says daily consistent inspired action with risk from the day 4 notes. It all ties together. Yeah, it all comes back together. Totally. And Lauren also said something, yeah, really, really nice here. So Lauren says, I feel like risk equals proof of our trust in the universe and our own power. Yes, exactly. It comes down to faith and trust. As much as we hate to hear that, and as conscious people are just like, oh, not this again. This is why, friends, I have trust tattooed on my wrist, because that's what it all comes down to. You choose trust, and you not only will you be caught by the universe, but you will discover that you've had dragon wings all along, and you will just take off, and you will start spewing fire from your mouth like a dragon, alchemizing every challenge that's in your way, and you will soar. Really, actually. And I've gone through this transformation enough times to know that it works every single time without fail. It really does. I've done it so many times, and I will share more of my personal anecdotes with you this week of how I've been my own personal guinea pig on this. And that's why I can say with confidence that Dragon Wealth works, and why I can share it with you in confidence that if you take that leap, that risk on yourself, you will get the results. You will get out of it what you put into it. So Manuel says, I heard the words already, but now they make sense. Snaps for that. Thank you, Hannah, and thank you, QAA people. Thank you, Manuel, and thank you, QAA people. Yes, we are creating this field, this energy together. Ian's already noticing shifts with my life. Sizzle. And Lauren says, it's like I have to hear it from multiple times in different layers of impact keep happening, just like Hannah mentioned about taking Dragon Wealth multiple times. Exactly. Yeah. Like both QAA and Dragon Wealth, it's like, it's basically the same teachings every time, but every time you do it, you're going to discover something new. There's going to be another layer of authenticity that shines through. And Michelle is the perfect person to talk about that because she literally has done every Dragon Wealth and every QAA that I've hosted. So on that note, we're going to bring Michelle on. Let's send Michelle some love as I promote her to panelist. Okay, Michelle, bringing you on, promoting a panelist. All right, Michelle, you are on. Yay! We can see you. Can we hear you?
Hi.
Hello, Michelle. It's lovely to see
Hello.
you. I love, oh my gosh, I love like these like braid thingies that you have and like the color.
Oh, these are for my ears. These are
Oh my
just, yeah.
God, they're
This is my
beautiful.
new poncho.
I love your poncho. It's so colorful. I feel your like dragon energy like shimmering through. So great. Thank you for sharing your presence with us, Michelle.
Oh, thank you.
So, Michelle, let's get down to it. Like I said, you are the OG of OGs for Dragon Wealth. You've attended every Dragon Wealth, every QAA. You are committed AF. Where were you at in your life prior to the very first Dragon Wealth experience?
Hmm. I, hmm. Where was I at? Wow. In
So
a
long ago
very,
now. So long
in
ago
a,
now.
oh, shit, I don't remember.
Yeah.
3 years ago?
It was August of 2023, September of 2023, so about
Mhm.
2 years ago now.
Yeah, I was just coming out of my funk, starting to come out of my funk because I had in 2019 or 2017 I lost, well, in 2015 I started losing my I lost my marriage, and then I lost my business, and then my house and my car, and it just like one thing after another, and almost ended up on the streets, but I got an RV, which yay.
Yeah.
um So I didn't have any money. I mean, I have a Social Security disability. That's it, because I lost everything else. So I I had been listening to your videos on the Dragon Tarot and stuff like that, and just all your videos. I've listened to all the videos, and I trusted you, and that was a hard, hard thing for me.
Mm.
Um, but I can hear you. I hear your, well, for one, there was nobody really on TikTok or any place that was talking about dragons.
Yeah.
And if you're courageous enough to talk about dragons, you're somebody that I want to hear.
I love that. I appreciate
Yeah,
that
it's
too.
true.
And I will say it was scary. That was an uncomfortable leap for me. When I started talking about dragons, I remember when I got the inspiration to do it, I was like, this sounds crazy. I don't even know if I fully believe it. Like people are gonna think I'm crazy. Why do you want me to talk about the dragons and channel a message from the dragons? Like that people just think of this as fantasy. But I as always, like I know now I've trained myself, like what I'm teaching you guys in QAA, like when something's uncomfortable, that's something I want to go into. I go towards the discomfort because I know I'm about to level up. So I posted, yeah, the very first video I remember, it went super viral, and then I was inspired to create the Meet Your Dragon Guide service, and it just kind of like it naturally boom boom boom. It all like kind of played out very naturally after that because I went into the discomfort.
Hmm.
And you went into the discomfort by choosing to trust when you had lost everything
Hmm.
and you had like no money. What inspired you back then, if you can share with us? Like, what inspired you to take that leap on yourself?
So I had a metaphysical book and supply store, and I was really a powerful individual.
Mm.
And I lost all that. I
Dang.
lost all my confidence. I couldn't remember who I was.
Mm.
And I had been doing, and I still do, a lot of guided meditations, mostly to get myself back into that mindset of, yeah, you got this, the universe has your back. Um,
Mm.
and so Yeah, that's where I was. And so I knew I had to do something. I had to do something to keep getting out of that funk. And because I kept finding myself going back into it.
Yeah.
COVID really screwed me up. But yet at the same time, it kept me safe. Because
Mm,
I got to a point where I didn't even want to go outside. There was, even
mm,
before COVID, it was like agoraphobia is a real thing.
yeah.
And, even going out into my car was like, this is not a safe thing. And
Mm,
so safety is a big thing for me.
yeah.
And so, yeah, I found you, and I felt good. I
Mm,
didn't, there's a lot of people out there who I don't listen to because they just don't feel good to me.
yeah.
And so your energy is good energy. And I knew it was real.
Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. We're
Yeah.
vibing. Yeah, we were definitely on the same wavelength. And so you felt like you just felt it, right?
Oh yeah.
You just felt it. And that was your inspired action with risk.
It,
Like,
it was.
yeah.
It was definitely, oh, way definitely. It was
Yeah.
like the QAA was okay, easy enough. But yeah, at the same time, still, oh my God, you know, I'm talking to people,
Yeah.
It
Because
was,
like because Dragon Wealth, it's more face to face. This is kind of anonymous, but Dragon Wealth, we all like come on camera and we just like we chat like a nice little family, right?
mhm. Well,
Yeah.
even before with QAA, we also were, it was a different format. We were also still chatting, weren't we?
Mm.
If I remember right.
In the House of the Spirit Dragon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what did you find most helpful about your Dragon Wealth experience?
The community.
Mm, I feel that. Yeah.
Yeah. The DW family are just,
Mm,
this experience has changed my life in so many ways. It's given me a family, for one,
mm,
people I can talk to that really understand. And just to be able to talk to somebody, that that's something, because I didn't have anybody.
yeah.
And so, yeah, the DW family are really, really, really precious to me.
Mm. Yeah, I
And
almost like
thank you, Hannah, for bringing us all together.
you're welcome. Thank you for sharing. I'm like getting teared up just like hearing you talk
Yeah,
about
me
that.
too.
Every time you come on, like it's like, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, I really appreciate you, Michelle. I appreciate you. And yeah, like taking a leap on yourself and on me in the community and showing up and doing the work and like, yeah, you are such a light to the community and to the world. So
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you. I'm
And
finally seeing that again.
I'm glad. It took some time, but yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
you're getting
God,
there.
it's taken so
Yeah.
long,
Yeah,
but
but you're
it's
finding
definitely,
yourself.
and this time around, oh my God, things have been really kicking up.
Very
It's just
magical,
it's
right?
crazy,
Yeah.
very magical.
What would you say was your biggest takeaway from Dragon Wealth? Kind of different from what was most helpful. What was the biggest takeaway? Like if there was an insight that you can share with
Oh my
others that
God,
you
there's,
took away.
I can't put,
Too many things. Yeah.
yeah, I just,
I
there's
feel you.
so many, um, yeah, there's just so many. It's hard to
Narrow it
nail
down.
that one down.
Mhm. What if, yeah, like one of the takeaways is just that you're not alone.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I'm not alone.
Yeah.
I know if I have a problem, an issue, a question, I can get on WhatsApp and everybody is there and they'll just,
Mhm.
and if they're not, they'll come in sooner or later.
Yeah, you can trust someone. You can trust someone too. And
Yeah, night, day or night, because I'm in, you know, PW, so Pacific Northwest. So I see you in the morning, like Tom sees you in the day at night.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
you're at
yeah,
night.
yeah, it's different for everyone. And that's
Yeah,
also something so magical is it is like 24/7 support basically because everyone's like at different places in the world.
for sure.
And I agree, like it's such a just unconditionally loving community. That's what
Oh,
it
absolutely,
continually astounds
100%.
me, like that I was like I sparked this and to see what it's become because it's taken on a life of its own. It's like everyone that joins and sticks with Dragon Wealth is so loving, so high vibe. It's such a safe space and it's truly beautiful to witness.
Truly.
So where are you at in your life now, Michelle? What are you doing now?
Um, well, I now found a place that I can sell my products. Yeah, it's like a market. Um, last Saturday, I've only been there twice. I
Mm.
made more money in the first day than I did in the whole time I was in Roseburg. And we haven't even started our season yet, really.
That's incredible.
So, yeah, one of the guys from the fish marketplace, he was talking to me about he wants to expand his herbal section, his herbs. So he wants to look at my herbs and bring my herbs in. I'm like, this is like huge, huge. So I get this inspiration yesterday. It was all yesterday, right?
Wow.
I get
That's
this inspiration
incredible.
yesterday. You have walnut pieces that you can make um, spice racks.
Mhm.
These walnut pieces are beautiful. And so all that's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. And so I'll have something else to sell him, but also to sell other people and put like three of my spices in one thing and have like types of three different sizes. Anyway, yeah, it's inspiration is coming like crazy and
That is amazing.
opportunities are coming like crazy.
I feel that for you. Like the doors are finally opening. Like it
Mhm.
you and that's also I think is something to note is it's like sometimes like when you take that action on things don't necessarily pan out right away. Sometimes you just need a safe space to like heal from like all the trauma and from
Oh
everything,
yeah.
integrate and be kind to yourself through that process. And then when you're ready and you're receptive, the universe is like, all right, it's go time. Here's all the doors. Here's all the
Mhm.
windows. Are you going to jump through them? And then because you've taken that time for integration and rest, you're ready for it.
Absolutely.
And I'm
And
super, yeah, super excited for you.
I've been getting these crazy downloads like about who this vessel is
Hmm.
compared to my higher self and how to integrate the two of them. And I'm finally starting to just talk to my higher self like, hey, you know, what are we doing today? It's just
That's
like,
excellent. Wow.
and it feels so natural, just totally natural now.
Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. Like just talking to your higher self, like it's just a good friend or something that you just
Yeah,
call.
yeah,
You're like, hey, what's up? I love that.
yeah, exactly. What are we going to do today? You know,
Yeah.
what do you have planned? Oh, you want to do that?
Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
how would you say that Dragon Wealth played a factor in bridging this gap from where you were to where you are now, which is like this magical reality where all these possibilities are opening up to you?
How did um how did it bridge the gap?
Mm-hmm.
It was the bridge. It just
Mm-hmm.
was the bridge. It was the bridge.
Amen. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah. And I think on that note, yeah, that's the best way to put, it's hard to put words to the experience, but it's just like a container of high vibrational energy. It's almost what's coming through right now is it's kind of like, it helps you birth yourself into the world. It's basically helping you to birth yourself. It's kind of, pushing you along, giving you a safe space in which to birth yourself when you are ready, when the
Oh,
universe is
yeah.
ready for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the universe is ready for you, Michelle. The universe is ready for you to come back at it now.
I know it.
I
Yeah. I
feel
know
it.
it now. I know it. It's
Amen.
not just a hope,
Yeah,
a
it's
thought.
just like,
It's I know it. It's
yes,
just a matter of time. The things are going to line up. Everything's lining up, and it's all just going to. I'm going to have my
compound.
space. I'm going to. Yeah, everything's going to come together.
So on that note, what would you say to anyone on the fence about signing up?
Oh no, no, just do it. Just do it. Um, you know, there was a point where I didn't know. I swear, I still don't understand how I was able to do it because I only get so much money a month.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, okay, how the hell am I going to do this?
yeah.
And I did, and it happened. And every month, it was just there, and I didn't have to think about it.
It's
Um,
magic.
uh, so I would suggest anybody who really feels they need to be here, it'll happen. Just ask the universe. Just ask.
Yeah, it's
Make it
really, it
happen.
is just a trust fall. It's a trust fall, right?
It is really. And I didn't have to go sell anything or anything like that
Yeah,
to do it. And so I didn't have to think about it. It just happened.
yeah. And I think this is why I love your story and I find it so inspirational and magical is it's like you are the embodiment of that. Like I exist and the universe supports me. Like I'm divinely supported. And I've seen that for you over the past 2 years, like over and over and over again. You've been in precarious situations sometimes. The universe always supports you. It always works out every single time. So
And now I
magical.
live on the ocean, on the Coquille River, in a most magical space.
It's just, yeah, truly a beautiful journey that you've had. And
Yes.
so I would say a special question for you, just given that you embodied this, like you embody exactly what I was talking about today, losing everything, like you lost your job and
I
your money,
did.
your home, your relationship, you lost all of the things that we're talking about having abundance in this week. You lost it all. And yet here you are, like more magical and freer than ever. What would you say to people who are struggling with the physical realm? Maybe they've lost their job too, they've lost their home, their relationship. What would you say to them?
Trust. Just keep trusting and do some guided meditations. There's so many out there. Um, Brian Scott is one of my favorites. I can't think right now. Kenneth Soares, he is also one of my favorites. He's very gentle.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, I do a lot of guided meditations, and it brought me to the point where I could think again. Like, because there was a point where I couldn't even, there was no, I couldn't do anything. And I knew I had to do something
Mm,
to get
mm.
out of it.
Yes.
So the guided meditations have been, yeah, Jason Stevenson's another one. They're really excellent.
It's like a
And
light.
Hannah,
Thank you.
Hannah.
That's why. And we're going to do one together, actually. We're going to do one together before we dip out today. So we'll try this. We'll put it into practice in a moment here. Um, yeah, thank you. But I would agree. It really is like just meditation for me also has been so transformative going through all these like dark moments in my life and the chaos. It's been an anchor point to my higher self, like you said. And I just got the hit. I feel like you're just talking so easily to your higher self now because again, daily consistent action. You're consistently doing these meditations, which connect you to the spirit realm, which connects you to your higher self. And it's so, like you said too, I think what you described, that's where I was too in this story that I talked about today, like having this brain fog and this just fatigue, this burnout, like that comes from the trauma and like losing all these things. And that really helps to shed light, even when you're at your lowest point, to just take that, even just 10 minutes to connect with the other side and see what comes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful advice. Thank you. So any final words?
Jump off the bridge. Just jump off.
Jump off
Just
the
do it.
bridge and you will find the bridge that is Dragon Wealth. Because Dragon
Exactly.
Wealth is also a bridge.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dragon Wealth is the bridge.
And you will end up in another bridge.
Oh, in a completely other realm.
Yeah, in the dragon realm. Like you
Exactly.
end up in this, and I think that is also a really funny note too, though. It really feels like Hogwarts, like the group chat sometimes. Like the things people post, it's like we can't talk about this with most people, but it's totally normal. It's just like, oh, hey guys, I shifted realities again. Hey, I was just talking to my dragon the other. It's so funny. It's like kooky, like as I talk
It's
about
true.
it. It's
It's
great,
true.
but it's
Yeah,
totally
one of the new feeds is who else is shifting timelines, you know?
yeah. The day in the life, and we're all just like, yeah, that's normal. It's normal. It's normal for us. So that's what I love too, is it normalizes that the chaos of this reality.
Exactly.
Yeah, Leo says, Michelle, you are precious and you deserve it all. So sweet.
No,
Yeah.
thanks, son.
Ian is noticing the timeline jumps and glitches. Yep. So finally, Michelle, is there any way we can reach you or find your work? Do you have like an Etsy shop or anything?
I don't have an Etsy yet. I just don't know how to do that yet.
That's okay.
Really, the tech stuff is crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't compute
Doesn't,
sometimes. So
you're too magical for that shit.
yeah, I guess
Find
so.
Michelle in the astral.
If
Go
somebody
find
else could do it for me, I'd be really happy about it. Like I like to make product. I don't like to do the
Amen. Yeah.
the rest of
Hey,
the tech
that's what your
stuff.
Viking is for, that you're calling in. And the Viking will take care of that for you.
Yes, I
Yeah.
accept that. Totally accept that.
Do you have, yeah, like any other way to contact you if people want
I
Michelle in
I
there?
could put my email in.
Sure.
That's
Yeah, you can
yeah.
share that when you're
Okay.
in the group again, and then I can put that also in the description of the video. But yeah, like
Okay.
Michelle just made this awesome hat for Marika, who's also here in the audience. Like Marika has this like epic hat, and that was like such a gift, Michelle, that you're just like, oh yeah, I'm doing these hats, and who wants one? So, I love it. It's so magical, so
It's
Harry Potter
lovely.
sorting hat.
I got a couple for Zana pretty soon.
Oh, amazing. That's
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful. Love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Michelle, and sharing your
You're
journey.
welcome.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, friends, let's send some love to Michelle. And if you would like to join Michelle and all of our other awesome Dragon Wealthers, there is the link. We would love to have you join the Dragon Wealth family, the Dragon Wealth community. And we would love to have you as a part of this kookiness, these shenanigans that we often find ourselves in. You can join us there at the link. And Michelle, you can put your email for us in the chats. So that said, I'm going to answer some cues. It's already, so we're not going to have time to bring someone on for coaching today, but I will answer the questions. So if you have any questions, drop them in the Q&A box right now, please. I will answer those. And then we're going to end the session today with this financial flow meditation. So like I said, I was divinely guided to host this today. It's not something I've ever done in a QAA before. And also they were like, it needs to be at the end of the session because we want you guys to just like marinate in that frequency to really integrate. And maybe some of you guys might want to just go to sleep afterwards, take a nap afterwards to really supercharge that integration. Meditate afterwards, even longer, just by yourself, see what happens. So Michelle's email is, I love the name, ladymysticbotanicals@gmail.com. And yeah, she's got just all sorts of like fun witchy stuff that she does. You can check that out. Okay, let's see what we got in the Q&A box. So Olympus is asking, when you open a portal, how do you close them? And I would say it's a matter of intention. Everything boils down to intention. So you can just set the intention like, hey, I'm going to close this portal now. Literally what's coming to me is, and it's funny because I just did an email about this, like Doctor Strange, right? Like Doctor Strange, he like does this stuff with his hands. He opens portals. I'm literally seeing like, if you want to close a portal for whatever reason, you could literally imagine it and like move your hands accordingly. So let's say you move your hands this way to open it, you move your hand this way to close it. And it's like, yeah, just like a mechanism like that. And it's that simple. Your intention is everything. You create reality with your intention. And this is even more obvious and it's quick with the spiritual realms, with the intangible, like when we're talking about portals, for example. Because with our physical manifestations, so like if you're trying to manifest money, for example, sometimes there's lag, right? Because 3D reality is slow. But with the spiritual realm, it's instantaneous. So you set that intention, you're like, portals close, the portals close. Simple. Hope that answers your question, Olympus. Leo says, manifestation techniques / stories from anyone, how money showed up without a seemingly logical reason. I'm curious if anyone wants to share in the chat. But I have one, Leo. I have one for you. And I'm glad that you asked this because I usually, just don't share this like in my normal curriculum for QAA, but I'll share this with you guys. It's like on the note again of investing in programs when you have no money and you have no income. The very first time I did that was actually before the story that I shared with you guys today. And this was quite a few years ago now. But I was just about to start my Saturn return, let's say. And I just got the hit, like, this is about to be intense. You're going to need some support. And I found that there was like this Saturn return, like support group / workshop thing. And I felt really called to it. And the hosts, I was like really drawn to them. And I was really resonating. And I was like, yeah, this is for me. And they gave away such like nice free stuff and free content. I was like, it's 1,000% for me. And it was like, I think like $500 or something to join their program. And I had zero income at the time. Like I was literally on food stamps at that time. I had zero income. I wasn't working. I wasn't able to work. I was like as broke as they come. So I had like zero money coming in actually. And I just remember I did the same thing that I told you guys about here, and the same thing that Michelle did, the same thing that Tom did, the same thing that Anna did. So there's lots of examples with our dragon wealthers. Like we were all masters of this, right? And I gave it up to the universe and I was like, well, if I'm meant to do it, then I trust the universe that you're going to come through for me somehow. And I let go of attachment. That's really important that you let go of the attachment. So I wasn't like thinking like, oh, where's my money? Oh, the doors are closing to this program soon. Oh God, like I need the money. I was just like, okay, I'm throwing it out to the universe. And then Leo and friends, like what happened was I was like informed of a life insurance policy thing. I still don't even know the mechanics of how this works. But basically, like my mom and dad, when I was born, they like invested in a life insurance policy for me. And for some reason, at this time, I was able, if I wanted, to like withdraw money from the life insurance policy as if it were like my own personal bank account or something. And so basically, I got money not just for the program, but like a lot of money from the life insurance policy. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. It was completely magical, completely unexpected. And yeah, like it just manifested like that. And I was like, holy shit, like this stuff actually works. And that was my first experience of experiencing that, let's say. And I would say again, like I think having the fire, like of investing in something with a deadline helps. Because I knew for this program, for the other program, there's these deadlines. And I knew basically it was a boundary that I was subconsciously giving to the universe. Like, I got to have the money by this time. It's not going to happen otherwise. And then the universe showed up for me. So Leo says, I recommend this technique that gave me money overnight without traceable income. It's Neville Goddard's not technique. You just say, I do not have insert wish amount of money in my account right before falling asleep, and repeat it in your mind and visualize the image of the money in your account and feeling good. The next day, I had the money bit there, but there had been no transaction in my account. What? See, this is exactly what we're talking about in the Dragon Wealth private community of like shifting timelines. Like literally, it doesn't even need to make sense to your logical mind. You have the power to create your reality like this, like Leo just described, where it's like, yeah, you just had the money all of a sudden. You just shifted. Literally what happened is you shifted to a reality where the money was just there. Yeah, it was as if it was already my wish amount. I shifted reality. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, totally. It's insane, but I felt that it was true. Research Neville Goddard's ladder technique or not technique. It just works without limits. Thanks for sharing that. I feel, see, there's abundance, Leo, in sharing that. Like that's abundance, is just sharing knowledge. That's a form of abundance. So thank you for sharing that with us. Super cool. I'll definitely try it out. Yeah, so you want us all to step into limitlessness. Let's just be epic. Exactly. I feel like that could be a shirt. Let's just be epic. Let's just be epic now. Leo says, exactly. This experience just gave me the confidence to join Dragon Wealth. Oh, Sizzle, we would love to have you, Leo. That would be epic. The not part tricks your limiting beliefs. For me, that's easier. Yeah, like I'll play with this. I can see what you're going with there. It's like reverse psychology, right? Your brain is, if you're like, oh, I have this, your brain's like, no, I don't have this. No, I don't have this. But if you're like, oh, I don't have this, then your brain's like, oh, you have it. You have it though. So I think that's really fun. Woo, Leo, congrats. We have Leo joining us in Dragon Wealth. Amazing. That's epic, Leo. You are epic. What is your intention for Dragon Wealth that you would like us to hold for you? What is your intention? Lay it out. Lay it on the line. Sizzle. I can feel the power, epicness. So your intention is limitlessness. Ooh, amen to that. Expansion, limitlessness, sizzle. Welcome to the family. So we got Leo, and we got Pat, and we got Tom, and we got Eliza joining us for Dragon Wealth so far. Round 4. Excellent. Well, I look forward to stepping into more and more levels of limitless with you, Leo. Thank you for taking that leap on yourself. Thank you. One small leap for man, one giant leap for mankind. That's what just came to me for you, is like you just took a small leap for yourself, but the leap you just took for the collective, massive collective ripple of epicness. Alrighty, any other questions? Let's see. Okay, Olympus is asking, can you join Dragon Wealth at any time and jump in and review past lessons? So, Olympus, I do like to have that deadline there because I like to have that hard boundary for you guys, for your own manifestation. Because like I said, it doesn't really work if you don't have that like fire, like, oh, I have to join now. So I would say like, yeah, there's that deadline. That said, little asterisk, little caveat, like technically, yeah, if you reached out to me, you could join whenever you wanted and just catch up on the replays of stuff you didn't miss. So let's say maybe you try to manifest the money and it doesn't come through by the deadline this week, but then the next week you manifest the money and you're like, oh shit, the deadline though, oh, but I want to be part of it. Email me and I will let you in and we can make it happen. Because maybe for some reason, like you just weren't supposed to be in the first week, let's say, like live in the first week, and it's all divine timing, right? So that's what I say about that. Hopefully that answers your question. And Leo says, I also channeled money once and it said it is always absolute. And then we assign a number to it, but we always have limitless money. It's never actually an amount. Sizzle. Exactly. That's so powerful because that's exactly what I was saying, right? Money is like the intention we give it, what the energy we imbue in it. So if you decide like to give it, like if you're like, hey, I have like millions of dollars or something, you can have that. Like if you're decide that it's possible and you view money with that value, that number for you, it gets to happen. Sizzle. And you're welcome, Olympus. Glad you appreciate it. All right, so Eliza says, where does a high vibe, neurodivergent, creative, multidimensional, magical, wild dragon soul like myself find an abundance-filled job that would match my frequency and desires without sacrificing this part of myself? Woo, sizzle. I feel that. I love that question, Eliza. Let's send Eliza some love because I super resonate with everything you said. Obviously, you know me now. You're in the house. But yeah, like I would say what I'm feeling called to share with you specifically. I don't know if you've ever considered this or if you've ever done it, but what helped me before I got into doing this work that I'm in now is I literally was a teacher and I was also like a nanny and a babysitter. And I absolutely love those jobs because I love working with kids. And I find that like working with kids as like a creative, magical dragon soul person, it is such a good match like to our frequency and like kids, they get you. And if you don't condescend to them, they will get you as well. And like they will learn from you and you will learn from them. And it's a powerful exchange. And I absolutely love that. So I don't know if you've ever considered that, Eliza, but that's what's coming through for you channeled is like maybe consider something with kids. And also what helped me is like only once in my life for 1 year was I able to hold a 9 to 5 job because I'm just so fucking magical. I guess I'm so neurodivergent. It's too much for me, like to have a 9 to 5 job for long term. But what I would do is like I would have part-time jobs or freelance jobs. So if you maybe like that's why I think babysitting, nannying is great for this is like you can kind of make your schedule just like when you have your own business and you have more say in what you're doing. So that's what's coming through. But there's many things that you can do. I would also say, and you're in Dragon Wealth, so we can help you with this week by week. But I would say you're being called to like step into sharing your gifts with the world, like sharing art, sharing services and stuff. And you're ready for that. If you've taken the leap in Dragon Wealth, and we can help you manifest that tangibly. Start to share your services, start to receive money for that. And then in the meantime, yeah, like something like working with kids could be very beneficial to you. That's what's coming through. Michelle says, and kiddos really need us. Totally, totally. Because especially more and more, like the younger and younger generations, they're more and more pure. They're some of these souls, like a lot of these souls actually, they've never even been to Earth. Most of the souls here, if you're like an adult now, probably you've had many incarnations on Earth preparing for this like master lifetime where we've really undergone like doctorates like on Earth and we've died many times. But now the vibes have shifted so high and I'm getting chills as I talk about this. So it's hella channeled. Like a lot of the kids now are souls that have literally never been to Earth because they're just here for the high vibes. And so they need people that understand them like you and I. Yeah, Lauren says, I love these new souls. They teach us more than we teach them. Totally. Ian says, most blocks are the result of a wounded inner child on some level. Totally, totally. It always comes back to that. And I think working with kids is really healing for the inner child. Olympus says, I'm manifesting getting this job at an apothecary, learning more about herbalism. I showed up and they were looking for a clerk. Perfectly aligned. That's amazing. That's amazing, Olympus. Congrats. That's exciting. I would say that's another good idea is it's like, what are some of your hobbies? Can you take like an entry level job that kind of puts you in that environment. So for example, back in the day when I thought I wanted to do something with fitness, believe it or not, I thought I wanted to be like a personal trainer or something. This is actually a career path that I considered like over 10 years ago. I then got a job as a receptionist at the local gym. And then I was around those people and I could see like how the personal trainers live their lives. And honestly, I think that's what planted the seeds for me doing what I'm doing now, because I saw they created their own schedules. They help people like step into their power in their physical lives, maybe not the spiritual, but the physical. And yeah, so that's another, it's a great suggestion as well, Olympus, and I'm excited for you to get that. Ian says the first 7 years of life is critical for matrix programming agenda. Totally. That's when we're sponges. Lauren says dated personal trainers and they all turned into real estate agents now. They followed the money. Yeah. So the soul-centered personal trainers became coaches. And it's funny because one of my mentors, Victor Odo, like he was a personal trainer and now he's like a full-time spiritual coach. So yeah, like the soul-centered ones became coaches and the money-centered ones became real estate agents, maybe. Olympus said, I had a gym job earlier this year and I love the vibe there. It helped boost my physical. There you go. Yeah, I loved my job there too. Another thing to consider, okay, this is also, so you see now I'm helping you guys brainstorm. Another thing I did is like a bridge before getting to this point is like that receptionist job, for example, a job where I don't actually need to do much, like a kind of a job where you just show up and you get paid to exist. So I was thinking about that, for example, at the job, the gym that I currently go to. It's a 24-hour gym, and there's like someone there for the night shift, right? But there's like no one going to the gym. They don't need to do anything. They literally just need to be there. They exist. And I see this guy like every night just doing so, like watching YouTube videos, playing video games, like doing whatever, and he's getting paid to exist. And so I can tell you, this is also a great bridge. Another like a writing guide that I have, like mentor, he's a famous fantasy author. Before he was doing his fantasy writing full time, he was working at a hotel as a receptionist, and basically he would work the night shift. And during the night shift at the hotel, he would write his fantasy novels. So basically, something where you're getting paid to exist, where you can still kind of put energy into your creative projects. It's also an option. Thanks for asking this, Eliza. I think it's a really great question, and I hope it's sparking things for people. Um, so Eliza says, I never considered myself a teacher or a good nanny, mostly because I don't have the ability to get angry or discipline if a kid misbehaves. I cannot say no, and I don't trust myself around kids. That's a limiting belief. Basically, so I can tell you, same for me, samesies. Like I've never had to get angry or discipline a child ever. And I worked as a nanny for like 15 years and I worked as a teacher for like 4 years and I literally like never did any of that. Um, Basically for me, the energy I would always go into those like jobs with is like, oh, I'm hanging out with my friends. Like I'm the cool, like the cool aunt vibes. Like we're just hanging. And because I saw them kind of as my peers and I didn't condescend to them and be like, oh, they need to be disciplined or whatever, they would always match my frequency and they would always behave and there would never be any drama and it would just be super chill. And the parents were always shocked, and I could see even back then, like, oh, it's the parents' energy of like, I need to control this that actually elicits that bad behavior. Because sometimes when the parents are around, I could see the kids kind of acting out. But when I'm just in like cool aunt vibes, like they match me on that. And if I would just like, let's say, ask them to do something from that energy, they would be like, okay, cool, I see your point. I will do that. Um, okay, so I hope that makes sense. I hope that sparks something for you, Eliza. I'm gonna shift gears because this is a rabbit hole. I didn't realize it's a rabbit hole. I could get sucked down to this. I could do a whole QAA session just on this, probably, of like, yeah, bridge jobs and ideas for jobs. But yeah, we can certainly, if this is still something that you haven't figured out by the time we start Dragon Wealth, Eliza, happy to help you figure it out in Dragon Wealth and mastermind with you, and we'll find something for you for sure. Okay. So last question from Marika, and then we're doing our meditation, friends, and we're wrapping this baby up. So Marika says, what type of soul partners are there and what can they do for you? I'm not sure exactly what your question is, soul partners, as in like soul mates, because immediately I'm just thinking about like the different relationships, which ironically I will talk about on Friday when we talk about relationships. I'm going to be talking about soulmates versus karmic partners versus twin flames versus plot twist just for this QAA, divine counterparts, which is a level up from twin flames. And this is like some new energy that's just coming in. Cool. So yeah, we'll talk about that on Friday, Marika. So I hope you're able to attend Friday. If not, you can check out the replay and we're really going to go deep there. And you can feel free to like ask me more questions about it there and we can explore that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad you asked that. I'm excited to talk about that. It's a really good topic. Woo! So there we have it, friends. Damn, what a fiery session. Do you guys feel, before we get into the meditation, do you guys feel the alchemy that happened today? Whew, I feel like a million weights have been like released from my shoulders with all those money blocks that we were all like carrying individually and collectively. Whew, whew. So much lighter, so much brighter, so much more expansive. And now, okay, this is the guides are coming in and they're like, this is exactly what we wanted. Basically, we were in the fire energy of making space for our abundance. So now when we do this meditation, we are receptive to aligning to the frequency of financial flow and abundance. So we're ready, we're primed. Let's get into it. So you can close your eyes and we'll make it a quick one so we can finish in time. Close your eyes. You can start to bring awareness to your breathing, to your breath. Observing your breathing. Noticing your breathing. Allowing your breathing. Drawing awareness to it. The inhale and exhale. The inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Setting the intention that with every inhale, you're drawing in golden source lights. But this time, instead of coming from above, from outside of you, that source light, that abundance, that unconditional love is coming from within your own heart. And you can imagine with every inhale how your heart is opening more and more. That portal within you to your own abundance frequency is opening wider and wider, becoming more and more expansive. And with every exhale, more and more golden source lights, more and more abundance is leaving your heart and filling your entire body, your energy, and your space in the 3D. Instantly alchemizing any resistance, any tension, any pain. Dissolving that, returning it to its base forms, abundance, liquid gold, love. Remembering that this abundance comes from within, not from without. You are physical embodiment of your own abundance. You are your abundance. And with every inhale you take, you sink into that knowing, somatically, energetically, emotionally, more and more, becoming more and more centered, more and more grounded in the frequencies of wealth and abundance. Noticing with each exhale how the flow widens, it expands. Just when you think it can't expand anymore, it does so. You ask yourself, how good can this get? How abundant can I be? How free can I be? As you ask these empowered questions, you feel that your heart opens even more to abundance until you notice an entire river of golden source light pouring out of you and back to you now from the outside. This beautiful cycle. The abundance flows out of you. It goes around you. It fills your entire space. And then it comes back to you in this perfect, harmonious flow of equivalent exchange. This is you. You are source. You are abundance. You are unlimited. You are expansive. Taking a nice deep inhale of this frequency, feeling it, embodying it, allowing it, choosing it, letting it flow, letting it go where it needs to go, trusting, allowing, and also receiving. And now you notice as your river of gold and abundance flows around you in the external, you see how there's rocks, gunk, trash even, blocking the flow, creating a dam that might be blocking you from receiving the money that you wish to receive, that you know you're worthy of receiving deep down at your core, the money that you're ready to receive, that you choose to receive. One by one, I want you to imagine now that you are giant. You just grow in size, bigger and bigger and bigger, expansive, powerful, sovereign. You are massive. And with your massive hand, you now pull each and every blockage, each and every rock, each and every piece of trash out of your golden river of abundance, freeing the flow, And if it seems like too challenging of a job for you alone, call upon support. Know that you are worthy. Invite your friends, invite the other souls here in QAA to join you in their light bodies. Invite your guides, invite your ancestors, invite the ascended masters, the dragons, the angels, the fairies, the unicorns, the elementals. Invite in support. Ask for help. Know that you are worthy. You've always been worthy. You will always be worthy. For minutes, you can now imagine you are shrinking back down in size to your regular form, and you are jumping into this river of abundance now. And you can stretch your arms out, stretch your legs out, and just relax into that flow. Surrender, knowing that you are divinely supported by the universe, always, in all ways. You are abundant. You are abundance. You are wealth. You are wealthy. You are rich. You are unlimited. You are all powerful. You are sovereign. The longer you remain in this river of abundance, just flowing, allowing, receiving, the more you start to notice your reality changing accordingly in the 3D physical realm. You start to manifest unexpected sums of money, support, and wealth. And you can feel how this exists here in the now moment. Simply a parallel reality that you need only choose to shift to, and you will shift there. If you would like, you can choose to shift to that reality right now. And feel how the flow becomes even more harmonious, even more effortless, joyous, peaceful. How you are supported, how your cells, your very DNA is being rewritten with divine wealth codes of abundance at this very moment. You are the new earth. And this is how we bring about the new earth. We become it. And then we let it flow forth from our being easily and effortlessly. Choosing to become it now. I will give you a brief moment in silence to really soak this frequency in before we return back to the 3D. On the count of 1, you will return to your physical body, fully integrated with this higher frequency, with this wealth, with this abundance, fully activated and ready to experience manifestations of abundant wealth in your financial realm from this moment forward. Miracles are possible. and know that you are being given a gift now. These magic words, a magic mantra that you can say to yourself aloud or internally. You can write it, you can share it with others. Anytime you notice the thoughts constricting you, blocking the flow of your river again, you can say this mantra to instantly dissolve them and return to this higher frequency. And that is, I exist and I am divinely supported. You can say it aloud now with me. I exist and I am divinely supported. And so it is. Returning to the 3D in 3, 2, 1. Coming back to the present, fully activated, fully integrated, fully ready for your money miracles to occur. Fully ready to shift timelines to a more abundant reality, to a more abundant experience. You can take a moment just to stretch it out, shake it out, to ground. You know that one final time, I will leave the link for Dragon Wealth in the chat. Know that if you benefited from this, we do activations like this every single week in Dragon Wealth. It doesn't have to end with QAA. We would love to have you there. And I'm also feeling called to share. I totally forgot. This is the perfect time to mention. So we do have a Dragon Wealther, Rod, who he did a video testimonial because he can't come on live this week. I'm going to send that out via email, but he is one of the few light workers that I know who is like really good with money, actually. And he has so kindly offered to do a special bonus class for us on like money and manifesting money and like activation for money. So that's something that is totally new for this round of Dragon Wealth that we will be doing with Rod. So if you want to get familiar with his energy, like I said, I'll be sending out a video where I like interviewed him about his experience. So you guys can let me know just briefly. We're like past time now. I could keep vibing with you guys all day. Honestly, it's so fun. Just one quick sentence in the chat. What was your takeaway from that meditation? How do you feel? What do you feel is possible now? Let's wire it in and then let's go our separate ways for the day. Thank you, Ian. Much love. Leo says synchronicity everywhere. What the heck? I asked ChatGPT to give me jobs that fit what feels like my purpose, and it said, where there are dragons. Are you kidding me? Which is some organization. And then I see the workers wearing shirts that say inspiration in action, like the inspired action I just took. Oh my God. Snaps, 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 Leo. That is absolutely magical. See, this is the magic. Congratulations, you have officially exited the Matrix and entered Hogwarts. So exciting. Eliza says, stepping into the unknown. Olympus says, I feel that my goals will reach abundance. Ian says, anything and everything is possible. Marika says, some awesome affirmations today. Yeah, amen to that. Felina says, I am worthy of all I desire. We are all worthy. Amen to that. Leo says, finally my letter arrived. Yes, amen to that. Totally. This is that Hogwarts letter that you've been waiting on. SM says, I like how the picture in your TV in the back changed to an even more flowing river now there. Trust. Oh my God, you're so right, SM. Oh my God, I didn't even notice that. What synchronicity. You know, it's so funny because when I like picked the image today for the first one, I was like, oh, I don't know if this is the most abundant river for like the abundance workshop, but I like the sound of it. So I was like, okay, universe, I'll trust you. I'm feeling called to go with this because the sound will go with it. And how funny, it literally showed the transformation. So like at the end of the session, when we did that, it shifted to this like massively flowing like river of abundance. It's so fucking cool. Thanks for pointing that out, SM. Chris says trust. Amen. Pat says emptiness to abundance. Snaps for that. Jay says reaching abundance, I am worthy. Amen, friends. So know that I am holding that for all of you. And you can hold it for each other. Let's all hold it for each other, these intentions, this frequency, and know that we are not in this alone. We are supporting each other. We are ascending together. We are breaking the matrix together. So much love to you guys. Hope to see you guys in our live tomorrow, which will be about manifesting optimal health and becoming ageless. That should be fun. Same time, same place. Until then, oh my God, it's 11:11 here. How magical, it's 11:11. So on that note, peace out, guys.